You know what?
Yeah.
I just get so hyped up whenever I hear that bumper, at the very beginning. So it's like an anthem now. So it's definitely gonna get me pumped up. I want to welcome everybody to another edition of Comics Cast Let It Out on February 28th. We're closing out the month, and we got a special guest here. Well, all of our guests are special, but they're not as special as my co-host Rick. Rick, say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody.
All right. He's understated, but he's like we were talking about.
That's me in a nutshell. Understated.
Understated. Yeah, that's the first word I would use to describe Rick. So my understated special co-host Rick is with me here today on February 28th. We got a great episode today. I am so happy to have these guys on there. But before we do that, let's do a little bit of shameless self-promotion just for Comics Cast Let It Out. And that is, if you found us on Facebook, it's just Comics Cast on Facebook. And we really want to push our YouTube. And our YouTube is Indie Comics Cast. And if my professional... Oh, yeah,
I am already on it. I don't even need it.
I don't even need explanation there. You can follow us on Indie Comics Cast on YouTube. And we're trying to grow the numbers there. I think we hit over 200, which is... it's a slow grind, but we are building those numbers, and we appreciate all those like and subscribes and following. If you could do that for us, that would be perfect. You can see here that we have a plethora. That is our operative word to describe our just volume, our huge volume of videos here. This has all of our Let It Out episodes from last year, as well as some of our art show, which is the Artist Roundtable. You can check those out. You can actually even see that little musical bumper that we had at the very beginning if you want to check that out. It is all here on Indie Comics Cast. And I also want to thank all of our just incredible audience, because we hit, from what I remember, we hit 6,000. We have 6,000 followers on our Facebook page. So that's an amazing achievement. Yeah, we are approaching our 1-year anniversary, which is coming up in March, April. I'm going to have to look to see when our official kickoff date is, as we became Comics Cast, officially Comics Cast. We had a couple different name iterations before that. But yeah, it's going to be a big March and April, but it's going to be even a bigger day today, this Sunday, because of our guests. So, Rick, why is your button not red? I mean, I know this is you're from Denmark and all, but is there some default that unsubscribes you? Do not do what Rick does.
Gerald, you're way behind. I'm still subscribed from last time. That's what I'm showing you.
Okay, all right. Well, demonstrate to our fans how you subscribe. You just put your mouse over it and
click,
and it turns. All right. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, make sure. Is it all? Did you make it all? Did you?
No, it started. Okay, I lost the bell. See?
Yes, see, there it is. Okay, he did not have the bell clicked. Anyway, that's how easy it is. That is how easy it is to like and subscribe and follow us on Indie Comics Cast on YouTube. So, without further ado, let's welcome our guests in for today. I'm gonna get rid of this banner, and we're gonna do I'm gonna do the virtual drum roll, and there he is, and then you're gonna let him in. All right. So here we go, and the drum roll goes. Hey! We got Stanley
I was joining you in the drum roll.
Okay, and we got Joe Robinson Currie. So we got you guys in the
house.
Yes, it's the round of applause. I want to welcome you guys both, because I have gotten to know you guys in a short bit of time, but I feel like I know you so well after our pre-show. So thank you so much for being with us here today on Sunday. It's going to be a treat.
For having us.
Oh, definitely. Let's first of all, you guys say hi to our audience. Say hello.
What's up, crew? What's up, everybody? I see all the comments. What's up, Happy?
Yeah.
What's happening, y'all?
Okay, here we go.
Shout out to Brett, Molly.
Yeah, we got. Yeah. Gotta let those messages show up a little bit longer, Rick, so that our guests can see it. We don't have time for that.
It's just Roy. It's fine.
It's just Roy. Okay, it's just Roy.
I feel you, Roy.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So again, we have Stanley Weaver and we have Joe Robinson Currie, and I want to, like we always do, I want to have. If you look at the bottom, there's a scrolling ticker. And this is how you can get in touch with them. This is how you can follow them, how you can see what they're all about, because once you see their artwork, you guys are gonna want to go there, want to go there and like and follow them, but don't do it during the show. Make sure you do it afterwards. So it's going to be scrolling throughout the entire show, so you can make note of it. And it's going to be a treat. You're going to see some phenomenal artwork. You're going to hear about from the writer, who is Joe, and the artist, which is Stanley. You're going to see what these guys put together, and they're part of a larger crew, which is called the Street Team Studios. But today we're focusing on them and what they're bringing to the table. So it is an honor. It is a privilege. I'm so happy to have you guys on here. So check out those links below. Just note them for future reference. But as
not now. Don't jump us now. We need those views now. You can view them later.
Exactly. Right. All right. So we're gonna move the show right along. We started a little bit late because we just had, it just seems like we want to build up the anticipation. So we're thankful for you guys waiting a little bit to get into the show, but now it's kicking off. So we want to see that comments field light up. We want people to start interacting with us. And just like previous Let It Outs, if you hadn't watched it before, Let It Out is an interview show, but it's more of a conversation. It's where you get to know independent creators from all walks of life, which is, inkers, writers, pencilers, you name it. If they're in the indie creator field, we want to get them on the show. We want to promote them. And it's no different from these talented individuals that we have right here. So let's kick it off. So this is the part of the show that we call affectionately the elevator pitch. So you guys don't have to worry about there being a time limit. You have more than one floor to talk about yourselves and, basically toot your own horn, let the world know who Joe and Stan are. So the mic is officially going to be handed to you, Joe. Yeah, so Joe, while you're talking, I'm going to pull up some artwork that you shared with me. And I'd love for you just to tell your story right up to, the beginning, all the way, Genesis, from when you first started, all the way up to right when you met up with Stan. And then we're going to, go from there, hand it to Stan, and then we'll talk about Street Team and where you guys are going with that. So the mic is now yours.
Word. I'm glad you said there's multiple floors to the elevator pitch because, usually they say you got that 11-second window to get it all in there. But no. I'm joking. I'm tripping, man. But no, started off 1995, man, or 94, I believe. I went to a comic convention. We was always in the comics and whatnot. And, we used to play role-playing games is how I actually started learning how to actually create characters and doing that. If anybody out there familiar with Dungeons and Dragons or Champions and stuff like that?
Never heard of that. That.
I'm just saying, some people may not, they go into the geekosphere. They don't really want to, mess with that. But anyhow, so I didn't know that you can actually, that was an indie scene and it was like bursting at the seams. I knew about Image Comics. I knew about Milestone. But when I went to this convention, I was blown away. So that was my, as far as wanting to do it, of course I grew up in the 80s and 70s, so I grew up on, I was collecting comics back then. Early on, we were really young. I'm like 19, I believe, and we started off trying to make our, me and the group in Chicago trying to make our own stuff. So one of the first out of the gate was Prodigy, the ones you're showing now. She was part of a group of young kids. They were really, really smart, and they were chosen to help the government create the next wave of inventions and weaponry and such. Finds out that the government is not really working well with them and don't have their best interests in mind. They turn on the government and decide to try to free themselves and fight to free the other people. That's the other prodigies that are around. So that's Victoria, Dr. Victoria Carver. She was one of the first books I've ever done. I did it with an artist. The art you see is from Daryl Spicy, and I think one of them was the colorist on one of them was Corey Green. So that's right. That's what you're seeing now. So so you go from there. We had some before Prodigy. I had a couple things prior to that nobody will ever see because it was when you're doing it first off, you're young, you don't know what you're doing. So I threw a bunch of stuff out to the world that the world threw back at me like, no, I don't. So that was my first kind of success, or one of my first success, as far as my own project goes. Then we
go to this.
Right. Well, you fast forward. Me and Stan and the rest of the street team, most of the street team guys were on this site called Hero Talk or blacksuperhero.com. It was a forum in the early 2000s, and we were all sort of gather, and talk about whatever and do stuff. And I met Stan Stan kicked off a piece for me. I asked him, could he do a piece for me, and he did. He killed it. Stan was already lighting up that board anyway. Like he was doing all types of just crazy, just fantastic art. So we linked up and we started doing stuff, and I moved on, started doing the Punks of Rage. That's the Punks of Rage right there. Dodger is like the lead character in that book, or one of the lead characters in this series at least. He's the that's the jersey I'm wearing right now.
Yeah. We're gonna talk about that too.
Yeah. And now, me and Stan had linked up. We had developed a relationship. So now we started to collaborate. So all the covers for Punks of Rage is all Stan. So the first 7, I think, or it's first 8 out of the gate, Stan did the covers for. Shout out to Christian Alvarado for the coloring jobs. But yeah, he was. It was what it was, man. We just started. It was fun. We was doing this stuff. We was, you were still kind of youngish in the game. We still having fun doing it. So, we was just going at it. We was putting our stamp on this thing and putting it out, and it started getting the people started liking it and picking it up, and it was good. It was great. So yeah. So this, as far as the street team, I don't know whether Stan wants to explain how we did that, but it was a bunch of us. You guys had Shauna Lee on the show already. And I don't know if he explained it all, but he was the one who kicked it off. Shauna Lee, we all had these kind of characters, kind of street level based characters. And Sean just out of the blue did a portrait of all. It was 5 of them at that time. And
I heard the story.
So,
and you know what? Let's save that. Let's save that whole street team, like where they came from and how you guys came together. Because yes, I forgot to mention that last year we had your comrade. We had Sean Aline, who we got to feature Black Azan, and he told me about your crew, and that's how it led for you guys being on the show today. And Joe, I would love to hear so.
Shout out to Sean.
Yeah, so Sean, hopefully you're watching here, so you can comment and roast your studio mates here, and get some there, because I was talking to the other guys, but today we're talking about you, and we're talking about Stan, and just a little bit of to follow up with what you said, Joe. You heard about the indie scene. Did you always, and you got into Dungeons and Dragons and role playing games? So was that like how you got into thinking I can tell my own story, I can create my own characters? Was that the catalyst, I guess, that got you into writing, or you have always had a writing bug? Is that something that you've always had?
As a kid, you always messing with any kid who read comics or was into this. Most kids will have their own story of characters that in the back of their mind, if they're into it, and that was the same. So with RPGs, one of my buddies, it taught me how to create the character, how to turn it from something in your brain until actually written what this thing is. And so that was the sort of when I say, hey, wait a minute, we can actually, and I didn't even think about making a comic then. I was like, you can actually build your own. I was just excited to do that and play in a virtual world and that whole thing. It sounds, people who don't do it, it sounds crazy as hell. But if you, I don't mean.
But once you do it though, you are hooked, because it's exactly like you said. You get to play. It's it's the essence of independent creator right there. You're creating your character from the ground up. Everything about his or her characteristics. What their powers are, what their backstory is, and that is such a good. I think a good note to all of our viewers here to see that, if you're writing, if you want to, if you're playing these type of games, even like the RPG games that are on PlayStation or Xbox or any of those things, those are just avenues to help. You can be a creator too. You can follow what these guys are doing and build worlds, build characters for them to inhabit in. And that's what I would encourage. And you're going to see what Joe and Stan have crafted here. And I think this is a good transition. We're going to go into Stan. We're going to have Stan the man. I'm going to call him that. Stan the man here. He's going to talk about his art style. And then we're going to follow up and talking about the street team and where you guys are going with that. So Stan, the mic, we parked the elevator at another floor, and let's Stan, the mic is in your hand now. Let's hear your elevator pitch while I pull up some art for you to talk about. So Stan, the mic is in your hands right now.
All right. So do I need to start from the beginning or what? So
you can start. You can start wherever you want. You know, your inspiration, how you got into the art game. Just bring the story up from where you started. I mean, art wise to where you met Joe, and you're talking about you talking with Joe. So let's. I got some artwork here. You kick it off.
All right. Well, art came to me at a very young age. Back when I was young, started off drawing on my play wall, on the wall, with crayon. That's the name of my company. It's called Wall Drawings because that's the reason. That's why I drawing was on the wall. Then after I got a whooping, I soon discovered they have paper. So my mom directed me. My mom directed me to paper. So basically, it was I don't know. It was just out of habit. I started drawing, and one day didn't know anything about superheroes. All I knew was cartoons. So what I used to just draw was emulate what I saw on Saturday morning cartoons and such. And then I remember one day just going to the store shopping. My mom picked me up a action figure. Now this was back in the days when I was growing up. We had action figures.
Oh yeah.
Superheroes, like we had Incredible Hulk, Spider-Man, and she bought me the Incredible Hulk. And when I saw it, it was like I was instantly drawn to that. And every day I would come home from school. I would just get on a piece of paper and just try to draw what I see and stuff like that. And one day I went to school, came back, I couldn't find my Incredible Hulk doll. My little brother stole my Incredible Hulk doll and he broke it.
What?
And hit it, yeah, and it was like I was so upset about that because that was my own visually seeing the Hulk. And then one day, funny story was we go to the grocery to the convenience store, corner store, and when you go to the corner store, hey, can I get some candy? Can I get some? And my dad used to tell me, hey, you get some candy, and then you come up to the counter. As I'm walking back to the counter, I passed back in the day. Remember they had comic book racks in the
yes.
Never seen in my life, and I just so happened to look and see the book, and it had Incredible Hulk on it. I'm like, and I didn't know they made a comic book. And I opened up the book, and it was like, just like it just was my calling right there. It just drew me in from that point. And I remember I grabbed the book. I walked up to the front, and my dad looked at me and said, "You want that book instead of something snack?" I said, "Yeah, I want this book." He said, "You ain't getting nothing." I said, "I want this book." So I took that book. I went home, and I just absorbed that book, and I was and I just pretty much just looked at that book. Incredible Hulk was my first, inspiration as far as drawing comic book, and then from there, as I grew up a little bit, started finding out there was other superheroes besides Incredible Hulk, and then to find out there was other people who was just like me who like to draw comic books. And I remember I ran in. It was like later on down the line, like Joe said, you run into a couple people, nerds like yourself, but whatever, that wanted to create a comic book. And I remember it was about 4 of us in the art class, and we all got together and we decided to create our own universe. Just randomly creating different types of superheroes that was somewhere what we call Dopplers or copying off of the known characters, but it was the way that we were creating and learning how to put our characters together. And I remember we created our own. I remember Marvel had their own universe guide. We created our own universe guide. It was like we created our own, and we actually used to sell it to people. That was a good thing back in the day. We used to steal art paper from the art class and make our own little comic books and sell it.
What? So How old were you? How old were you?
I was in the 7th grade. I was already thinking about it a long time ago. So we started selling little universe guides, and then I remember creating the first character that I ever created was called Catman. It was terrible character. It was a mix of Batman and Spider-Man mixed together, but hey, you know what? It was a start.
It was.
Yeah, it was a start. So after that point, then I started getting a little bit better at my design. I remember I tell everybody the story, where the Stalker come from, the character Stalker. Stalker comes from what's called Blue Falcon and Dynamite. When I saw Blue Falcon and Dynamite, I said, man, that would be cool to have a character that has a dog that's cybernetic that basically goes along with him at all times. So I started creating a character and forming this guy called at first called Stalker. And he didn't look like this at first, but I started building him and started molding him and creating him into this character you see now. And then I started building a bigger universe, which he's a part of, called New Jerusalem. New Jerusalem is another story that Stalker is a part of. It's a city of superheroes. That's something long down the line, but whatnot. But after a while, I mean, after you start doing this stuff like that, I didn't really think about doing comic books or anything like that. I just enjoyed drawing and creating until one day I went to a comic book convention, and that was the first time I ever went to a comic book convention.
That is a great story. I love how the name of your if you look at the bottom, the scrolling because it's called Wall_Drawings_Productions on Instagram. I love that story. It's like, luckily your mom didn't discourage you from your drawing tendencies.
I need to hold you right here. There's a lot of comments about you being very silent, Stanley. Is there any way you could up the microphone so we can hear you better?
Yeah, maybe bring the mic closer to you or up the volume on it, because we want to hear your story. You want to make sure I can hear you okay, but I guess some people in the audience can't hear you as well.
Let me just try to see if I can get my headphones on. 1 second.
Okay.
And while we do that, I'll have to bring in a little bit of my views on this art, which is just I tend to say when I tend to call a thing stupid in this in this world, it's meant in a good way, because this is stupidly, insanely good work. I'm the dynamics and the detail. That this is just you found a good guy here. This is insane.
Well, it's the thing about that. I've been working with Stan for over 10 years now, and still sometimes you'll see something new and you're blown away still. Like you're still like, I feel the same way. Like, damn. Like, especially this one right here is that's Dodger and that's Tiger. It's one of our studio mates' character. We was all just floored by this dude. Like, and then because to me, I told somebody, I said, you never want to lose that part of you when you creating or as just a general fan. You want to go, you know what I mean? That's what brought us into this thing. That's what makes us admirers of the craft. So yeah, we definitely give Stan his props. You know, Stan plays the humble role and doesn't really, but he knows he knows he got it, man. So yeah.
I definitely do. Some of those action scene parts as well. That's just so much dynamic into it. Look at this one.
I know, and so you know what?
Power and flow. I wasn't done talking, Joel. Will you? It's my turn now.
Go for it.
No, I'm done now. I said I'm done now, but don't interrupt me.
I thought that was a little bit of a pause where I can insert myself into the conversation here.
What I was yourself in me. Wait.
Oh, don't even go there with that. Hopefully we're gonna get Stan back in here, because this conversation went a little bit off the rail, but I just want to say that we look at this. I had to zoom in here because these are some tight pencils, and we're talking really clean lines, and you just see great definition, volume. You see motion. It's a static image, but you can't help but feel like it's moving, and there's so much dynamic action in this. And I want to go backwards a little bit here and show this right here. And I think this is what Joe, you've been working with him for 10 years, so I'm sure that this is, you had that when you were just talking about Stan's artwork, you did this little bit of this inhale, exhale, and it was kind of like you got your breath taken away from you, because that is literally breathtaking. You see, I mean, look at these strokes. I mean, these tight pencils. He just, and then we have this insane detail. I think he drew like every leaf. I mean, look at that. That is crazy. All right, we got Stan back. Stan, we were just singing your praises here. Go ahead and say a few words so we can see if we hear you better. Can you hear us okay, Stan?
Can you hear me better?
How does that sound, Rick? Does it sound better? I can hear him fine.
I can hear him fine as always. So it's up to the.
Yeah, I think we're good. We'll just keep on going. Just if you can, just talk. This is going to sound weird coming from me. Talk a little slower because I talk really fast. But we want to
do what
hear.
Devil can't do.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Do what I don't do, so that way people will hear everything that you're talking about. But we were just talking about these insane like details that you put in here. Look at this. I mean, you got like rivets and leaves and all this foliage and just incredible work here. All right. Oh, are we getting some? All right.
It's amazing detail.
I'm gonna lean in a little bit there. Lean in so you can hear me.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so what was I? Oh, anyway, I didn't get a chance to really know about comic book or was not interested in doing comic books until I went to my first convention, and I ran into a gentleman who was a Black comic book artist. I don't know his name, but that was the first time I ever seen or thought about it after I spoke with him. And, he gave me the insight. And he said that, before you even become a comic book artist, make sure you have a 9 to 5 at all times. And I took that to heart. And when that happened, of course, it delayed my interest because, making money was more important. Of course, family came along, and then that delayed me for a while. So I really didn't get a chance to really think about it. But all the while, I was always still practicing my craft, is looking and whatever. And I remember one day, leading up to encountering Joe. I mean, one day I was in search of, just trying to find some more inspiration. So I was looking online to find anybody or anything that would be relatable to, Black superheroes. And I just put the word Black superhero in the search engine, and blacksuperhero.com popped up. And I remember I looked in there, and I just popped in there one day. I think we got a request. I got in there, and it was like the Mecca to me. I walked in there, and I've seen creators, artists, with skills, 10, 20 times better than I have ever seen. And when I walked in there, I was like, this is the place I need to be, because now I can get inspired and figure out, learn from other people how they did it. And when I got in there, I walked in there, I try to, make my way, just trying to look around and see what everybody else does. And like you said, I dropped a couple things in there, just trying to show that I got a little skills.
You're so humble, so humble.
Just a little bit, just
a little skills.
I told y'all, man. I told you.
And and then I think one day Joe did. I saw Joe's work and instantly fell in love with the characters. There was a whole bunch of characters I loved. I think Joe was one of the first ones that he actually came. Not really the first one. There was a guy named Corby Marks. Corby Marks was a gentleman. He had a comic book called Stormbringers, and he came to me one day and told me to redraw and reimagine his characters, which I did. And I did like a issue of comic book for him. That was like one of the first time I ever did, like my first independent comic book was Stormbringers. That was the first thing I ever done that I actually had something like that. And then after that, like, okay, well, you know what? Maybe this can be something I can do. And then after that, I think Joe came along, and I ran to Joe, and Joe asked me to,
Indie Sarah.
Touch us, yeah. Well, let's touch his character. And I remember, he let me, get a touch of Dodger, and Dodger, like I said, I'm a street level type character. I love characters that's like street level, and he was a perfect character to work with. And then he let me help him with the Jawbreakers, then Sirius, then Reaction, and then it's like I just became a part of that unit, And then I remember we all decided to link up at a convention in Chicago, and it's like I've been a part of that Chicago crew from since then. And at that point, we've been working hand in hand. Whenever Joe needs something, I'm always there for him. Whenever I need something, I go to Joe for something like that. We've been like working like brothers from that point going forward with the whole Punks of Rage, and then of course leading up to the street team.
That's what I've been like waiting for. I'm like going, I love hearing both of your stories, but it's like, let's get to Street Team, because that's when I think the magic already happened. You know, like you guys getting hooked up, getting connected, and starting to realize these characters. And then, you know, when we had Sean on here, we talked about his character, Black Azan, and I think he has a couple other characters in there too. But you know, he told me there's a universe, that this character inhabits, and that's when I got to meet you guys, and you know, we had that Street Team Studios art contest, and I thought that was just a perfect window to get to know about your creations more, to know about you as creators. So let's, now that you guys have come together, you know, not with Street Team, but you know, we just described actually how the two of you got together, like meeting and, you know, online, of course, coming together in Chicago when cons were a thing. We're hoping that cons will come back, you know, because I'm ready for this pandemic to end. But once that's over, to get back on the con beat and to have you guys all collaborating together. You know, you didn't let that stop you. You guys are still producing stuff. So I have here on the screen, we got Dodger that's here, and he's this character here in the foreground, and this overpowering gentleman right here we have. This is Stalker. And if you look at I want our audience to check out what our guests are wearing, because Stan the Man is he's Stalker right there. Look at that. You can get these jerseys. You can support them, not only getting their book, but you can actually be Stalker. And I want you to, we're going to learn more about Stalker, because he's going to be one of our live drawing things. Or is it? No, Dodger's going to be. So, but from what I heard about Stalker, though, he's like the Tony Stark, Bruce Wayne. Right. Yeah, I think we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But here we go. Let's now that you guys are together, and you know, you're talking about your collaboration. You know, I don't know if you want to go into further stories in terms of just saying how you got together. Now you've developed these characters and integrating them into, you know, the Street Team, and that's in itself. I love the story. By, you know, you talk about Street Team and street level. There's a deeper meaning behind this, and I don't know who came up with the story, like who thought of it, but I would like you guys to tell that story in terms of the name. You know, how you call it, because they're the Almighty Street Team, and your Street Team Studios. So let's hear about that. You know, I don't know, either one of you. You guys can talk about.
I started from here, because the way that it started is the previous guest, Sean Aline, shout out to Sean. I guess he had a writer's artist block one day, and he just decided to one day come out of the blue, and he just said, "Hey, look, I'm just wanted to use your character in a drawing," and you know, he selected Stalker, Dodger, Tiger, Blackbird, and at the time the character was named Aaron, but now he's called Vigilante without no name. So he put a piece together. You know, it was, you know, a pencil drawing, and he plastered it on the you know, blacksuperheroes.com wall, and it got instant reaction, and then everybody was just in love with, like, oh, you know, hot. Everybody was just all in, right? And when I saw it, I said, man, you know, my mind started working already, and it just started formulating a movie in my mind of how the heck they got to this point at this scene that he drew. I wish we had that cover, but it just the wheels started turning. And I don't know if I mentioned it to anybody, but I just said, you know what, this could be a comic book. I can't remember. I don't know if I mentioned to Joe or somebody. I said this could be a comic book. I know we was just, you know, it just started organically sprouting out further. Like, you know, from that one picture, Charlie created a picture or something like that, and then, you know, Mace came along and said, Mace said, hey, look, let me color it. Mace slapped some color on it, and it just blew up from there. And then all of a sudden, just like this well just started springing out. All this creative stuff started popping up like a volcano. And I mean, this out of nowhere randomly started popping out. Mace started making sprites where they had characters moving like a little cartoon. And you know, Charlie was talking about doing a little book. And I would think to myself, now what can I do to get involved in this whole thing? And one day I just sat down one day. I had some paper, and I just started thinking, and I was like thinking, you know, how can I I just started drawing, and it just started moving from one page until another. Next thing you know, I had 6 pages. And I think that's when I showed the guys. I said, "Hey, look, I started doing this comic book," and it was like Joe, like like Joe says, like all of a sudden out of nowhere, it was 6 pages already in transition. So Joe, unfortunately, the guy Joe, he was like, "All right, now I got to come up with a story," because I was already moving down the line, and Joe was like behind me, walking behind me, like, "I'm gonna connect the dots. I'm gonna string this together. I'm gonna sew it all together. I'm just gonna come up with a story." And as I'm drawing, Joe's coming up with a story, and Joe's taking my pages, and he's connecting a story. So Joe created the story off of what I drew, and it just built all the way up to the end. And then when we got finally finished, Joe came up with the words, of course, with Sean involved, and Karan Curtis, and Sean also were a part of the writing crew as well. And from there, we just added some words to it. So we actually worked in reverse. The movie was shot, the audio was placed in, the plot was placed in afterwards, and it was on from there. And if I'm not mistaken, I think we were trying to come up with words. I think Joe came up with the word street team.
No, we had somebody had said street team because it was a number. Well, bringing it back just a little bit, like the co-sign what Stan was saying, it was one of the most organic, if not the most organic things I've been a part of, because it's back before social media was a big thing. We used to be on forums, and so on the forums, like Stan was saying, we was just busting out everything. Anybody who had a character involved in it was drawing something, creating something, dropping it on this form, and there was a lot of energy sprouting out. So somebody threw out Street Kings and Street Team. Then we had settled on Street Team because it was a bunch of street level characters, and then I threw the Almighty on top of that just to because it was, to me, it was the culmination of, it's what it is, but it was the culmination of all of us joining forces to make this thing work. So I was like, you taking and some of these was from published characters already, what have you. So you put all that energy into one entity, and it's the Almighty Street Team. Like it was, I don't know. That was how the name came to me. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Like, and what Stan said was fact. Like we had talked about certain things, the villains, the potential plot, the potential ideas, and next thing I know, Stan had drawn these pages out. I think it was more than 6. It was a lot because he presented us. He just kind of presented this, and it was like what we had talked about, and we was like, holy. So now, like you said, now you got to work in reverse. This film's been shot. Now we got to do the audio.
Yeah, that is just like the most unique story building process that I've ever heard. It's like you said, it's almost in reverse, but I think that it's not quite in reverse, because I think that Stan saw what other people were creating. He'd already worked with you, Joe, so he already knew how you operate, and just from what Stan's been talking to me about and how you guys operate, it's like Stan sees things like a movie. It's like you could give him like a sentence, Joe, and he's already come up with a 30-minute segment for a movie. He could like he's already built it. You'd be right at home doing storyboards for a director. And I think that's the good, what I really wanted to showcase about your dynamic relationship. You guys are the dynamic duo. You can go either writer to artist or artist to writer, and be able to tell that. And I'm gonna I think there was one little other component that I really enjoyed from our pre-show yesterday when we were talking about Street Team and the meaning behind Street Team, is also because it's street level. Right. You talked about street level, and I'm not gonna. My describing it would probably screw it up. So I want you guys to talk a little bit about the street level, what that meaning is behind it. Either of you, go ahead and explain that.
Wait, say that one more time.
Remember your street level.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
Oh, well, no, for me, I'd never had a problem. I love some of the stuff they say when you write or create, come from some stuff, or whatever, not, you and not that, you can do, I love like the fantastics. I love fantasy and, space and all that, Star Wars and all that. But there's something about, when you do a street level character, for me, the authenticity of the dialogue, some of the situations, even though it's fantastic, even in what they're doing, but it's coming for me, at least, coming from some stuff I know, or I have, seen, and then I kind of broaden it out, make it, fantastical. So, and I never, I always thought that was fun to do, and more, it hits people a certain way when you do it, when you write like that, because people know, when you hit it, even if it's on a subconscious level, they know, what you're trying to convey. At least I think they do. It's worked for us, and so and it's, I never had that whole idea. Some people say, oh well, you can't do street level characters. It's just, and like, no, you can do it. Spider-Man's a street level character. Daredevil's a street level character. You can you can do it, man.
Not only that, I think the street level we were trying to convey is basically, as independent creators, we're at the street level, and we are taking it upon ourselves to take ownership on our own type of thing, and we pretty much from the street created something. And on a level that down to everyone's level, and then we trying to make it all the way up. So like I was explaining that in the pre-show, it's all about taking what we have with the level of the streets and then creating something. And that's why I said we try to give off this impression that these individuals are from the street, and they're taking control of their own and taking control of the situation. And Street Team, Almighty Street Team, represents that as well. That's the reason why I told you, when if we ever did anything further, I'm going to look for like artists that's more of a street level, because we're trying to feed let the people who want to get themselves in there, get their shine. Like you said, a hungry artist wants to show and prove, stuff like that. And like I said, street level characters, pretty much like Joe said, speaks to the everyday ordinary man. It's not like you said, everybody can't be Superman, everybody can't be Incredible Hulk, but like you said, you might have a guy running around here with a bat, that can happen. And it's more, it's more, like I said, more relatable and stuff like that. Stalking may be a billionaire, but hey, you know what? Why can't it be a black billionaire? It can happen.
Exactly. Exactly.
So it's not too far off. He's not super powered, but guess what? He has resources, and I feel like that's something that needs to be represented at all times. You got to let everybody know. It's like you're not. If you can't just always be a criminal, or you can't always be a Superman, but you can be a billionaire. You can be a scientist. Stuff like that, and just keeping it keeping the mix good. And if you look at the characters we got, it's a good mix. Got like you said, you got a billionaire, you got a young kid still in high school, two of them really in high school. You got what we call a guy in kung fu guy. It's just like everyone's different, and they have their own background and story, and they all come together and they have one cause. So like you said, you might be able to relate to any of these characters, because of the fact that they're all what we call centered around a street level type individual.
Yeah, and that is the thing that I was really drawn to, because talking about the Street Team, it has such a deeper meaning in terms of not only the characters, where they come from, but I like the whole attitude about Street Team. You mentioned about, and we're going to talk about this later on in the show, and that's why I want people to stay tuned all the way to the end, because that philosophy of Street Team about the artists, I think Street Team is synonymous with indie creator, because you guys are definitely bringing that whole, we talk about the unattainable, it's like getting drafted to the NBA is probably easier than like becoming a Jim Lee. I don't know. It's like one of those type things. Is you guys though, you're not. You guys have the talent, you got the skills, and you're keeping it street. You're keeping it at that level where independent creators can be that. You're not letting any of those things hold you back. And who's to say, if we go back into the Street Team, the Almighty Street Team, the actual team, who knows? They may go intergalactic. They may go cosmic in the future. But what's cool about this? Yeah, it's.
And then when you have that, if you do go big, and then guess what? Now from our experience that it is attainable, and basically you want to reach back and you want to bring people in and say, hey, look, it can happen. Like you said, we're not waiting on them.
Yeah,
we can do it. I tell anybody, don't wait on them to come for you. Don't go to them. Have them come to you. That's what we want. That's what we're trying to look
exactly. At. And that's what I wanted to say about what Joe was saying, is that when he was writing the stories, is that when you first start out writing, it's kind of like write what you know, write where you come from, and tell those stories that are intimate and unique to you. So not only, I think we had Sarah, who was on here, her comment talking about Sarah hails from Egypt. You get people that are on this show now that are appreciating you guys, and she has said that she's appreciating and learning a artistic, cultural perspective of these characters and their comic books. But there's so much more. You guys are telling a story that is definitely reaching out there, and I'm just so impressed. So I wanted to show this art here, and Rick had to like bow out there for a second. He's back, and he's back just in time because this is a perfect segue into our first live drawing challenge. We're approaching 2:00. So before I do that, I was like when Joe and Stan were talking about the Almighty Street Team. Every time they were mentioning a character, I was like trying to like click on an artwork to show who these characters are. So I want to like go through this real quick to talk about these characters, but who this will be our transition into the live drawing. And I would love Joe to talk more about Dodger, who is going to be our first live drawing challenge that we're going to do, and just talk about that creative process and how he came to be. Stan, I want you also to interact with that too, but don't feel pressured, because I know sometimes it's hard to draw and talk, or talk and draw.
And sometimes for Joe, it's just hard to talk in general.
Hey man.
So that's my problem. That's my problem. So let me go through this real quick, and I just wanted to prime everybody up for what they can expect from the Almighty Street Team, as well as the two creations that or the creations that we're showcasing that are just from Stanley and Joe. So first off, this is the billionaire Bruce Wayne, Tony Stark, character that they came up with. So this is Stalker, and
the leader of the crew.
Yes, leader of the crew. And if you notice, that is what Stan is wearing. He's wearing the Stalker jersey. Unfortunately, you can't see those S emblems because he's turned, but we're going to definitely show that. Here we have Dodger, and you can check out what Joe is wearing. You can be Dodger yourself here, and this guy, I mean, between the two of them, they have so much attitude. I just like that little bit of that head tilt, and with that one eye showing, I was immediately drawn to put him in the front of my fan art that I did, just because he just had such presence. When I looked at him, and then we have here this I just had a Dial XS. Oh, actually, that's the name of the series, but it's XS, right? That's his
XS,
name. XS, right? And then here we have, I think he had a different name at first, but now he's known as the Vigilante with no name.
Yep.
And then we got, this is Black Izon, who's Sean Azan, yes, who's a creation of Sean Aline, who was on our show before. And let's keep on going down here. We got Blackbird. And I think the Blackbird that I've seen, he has a whole mask now, and a little bit of yes. And I was like saying that he's changed his look. He's evolved a little bit since I drew him. And then we got Tiger, who's the token martial artist.
Oh no, he's a martial arts expert, man. He's the dude.
He's the man. Okay,
he's the dude, man. If some bad guys got a villain who's that tough guy, you know how the A-team used to go to B.A. Baracus. We'll set back and let Tiger go ahead and handle that.
You let the Tiger out. Let the Tiger out. And what I loved about it's not shown in here, but I loved how he had this straw hat, but it had been cut out at the top. It was, and then he had his dreads hanging out the top, and I was like, It's like that was like such an obvious thing. It's like, but nobody's done it before. It was such a signature thing that I saw this artwork, but I had to do that. I had to draw him with that signature look. So very cool here. And then of course, these are like the team shots. I want everybody to check this out. So let me scroll back up, and Dodger is going to be our first live drawing. So I'm going to set up my art cam, and this will be and we're going to add Stanley's camera in here right now. And then this is where I'm going to let Rick run the show a little bit here, and, start the clock. Yeah, exactly. So anybody if you can, do a screen capture of this if you want to draw along, because that's what we want to encourage you about to do this and let it out, is that we want our audience not only to interact with our guests, but we want you to draw along. We want you to be fans of them, because honestly, it's so easy to be fans of them because there's a compelling story and there's stunning art. So check this out. This is Dodger. I'm going to leave it up right now for a little bit. I'm going to let Rick talk a little bit while we set up our art cams, and then we'll do our live drawing. So draw along with us. All right. So Rick, take over the hosting reins for now.
I just hope that I don't have another power outage in the middle of this. But yeah,
no worries.
I love your characters, and as it's been mentioned a lot in the commentaries as well, this could easily be done into a fighting game, as well, like old school Double Dragon or something like that.
Matter of fact, we got something like that.
Yeah, it's already done.
They beat you to it.
Done.
They did it. They got a PC game.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
You hear that, guys? They already on it. They're already on Double Dragon, but they got it covered. That's good.
Built with our own two hands, but with our own two hands, I mean James Mason's own two hands.
Yeah, James Mason.
You guys are so talented. So talented. So talented.
Shout out to Samuel Gordon too on it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Your character's just off the hook, man. I really love it. I do have some questions I'd like to get back to from the commenters now that I have the time and Joel is not talking all the time. We had one here that asked that the first pieces of art that we saw, the coloring there, was that watercolor with ink? It had that watercolor feel.
Joe.
Which the Prodigies? It was acrylic. It was acrylic paint actually.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Acrylic paint,
And then also Roy Mercado and Marius, two really great artists in their own rights that's also been on here, suggested that
shout out, y'all.
That Stanley's art is so tight as it is that it would look amazingly better if you just considered skipping the ink work, because his art in itself is so tight and so lovely that if you just put some color or a good digital color on that, it would really make a difference and look really cool. Not saying that it doesn't look cool with the inks, but hey, let's work, right?
Yeah, man. One of our inkers is he's going to be on the show later in the year. Chris Turner is one of our studio mates. And some of the pencils that he gives, him and Sean do a lot of the inks for Stan, and he's done some he's inked some of the covers that Stan has done, and he's told me behind the scenes that he said Stan is trying to kill me, like it's
I know.
Because of you know what I mean? You've seen the detail. I've seen some of the people comment too. Like Stan he goes nuts with the details. So any inker coming behind that, man, got his work cut out for him. You know,
they're gonna have
I'm like when it comes to the inking, man, that would just be easy. It's just basically tracing, because nothing needs correcting. Nothing really needs to correct. You just have to put the inks over the line. The line's already there. That's how fantastic Stanley does it.
Yeah,
whether he wants to admit it or not.
Yeah, well, we all know it. He doesn't have to say it, but I wanted to because we're ready. We got into the new hour, and I just want to get drawn, because I want our audience to see what Stan's all about. I want them to witness, a blank page become art. So what I'd like to do is we get to see the glory here. So I want everybody to take one last gander here at Dodger. He's going to be our first live drawing, and Joe and Rick. Let's and of course Stanley, if you want to interject, you can. We're going to let
me interject a second. I don't think I can. You guys can't hear me.
That is
turn away. But I know. I think we want to talk about Dodger and the creativeness of Dodger, stuff like that. So I'm just gonna give my input, and then then Joe can take over from here.
So sure.
Just draw.
Okay.
Now, when Joe first came to me, Dodger had an outfit before. It was more of a football pads and no shirt and just pants, and I remember he was like, we're gonna have to come up with a new look, and I think we've discussed. I mean, we had a couple looks. I think the first one was a rugby look with the skull in the front, and then all of a sudden, I saw the transition, and then I think we came up with this look here afterwards, more of a more. When I thought about it, I said Dodger needs to be more covered up. He is in Chicago. He can't run around in minus 20 degree weather with football pads on.
and no shirt.
You know what? Let's give this man some clothes, and then and I thought about it a little bit more, and I said, you know what? I kept most of the stuff true to the original. I think I changed his boots a little bit. Gave him more of a padded boots, and I think I changed his gloves a little bit. But I think we kept the gloves the same. The mask is the same. What I wanted to do is I wanted to transition to, like, let's say if Stalker got involved and helped Dodger redesign his outfit, so to speak. So this is more of I want to say like a Rumble streetwear where he can go out with a lot of padding on. And then we came up with the idea that his bat that he has been modified now. It's not just it's not a simple bat. It's been modified. Stalker gave him a modified bat that's a little bit more a stronger bat, and basically if he holds it, it starts to glow because it gives gives off like a more of a power. Like if he hits it, it tends to cause things to move.
More kinetic impact. Yeah.
More like kinetic impact. So basically, I'm just updating. Like his outfit's been updated. It's more padding. More like you said, high tech, more or less. So I guess this is like like we said, Stalker's peace offering to him because we had a story that Stalker and Dodger had a run in. I guess he just wanted to just like a peace offering for him. So yeah. So this was the skulls. I wanted to add his skulls in there because that's like what we distinguished as the punks of rage is the skulls. So I added that. Kept the same colors, red and black and white for the team colors. So yeah, just giving that rugged feel. So if you see a guy in this type of outfit, it's time to run. So
run.
It was fun creating this guy, and like I said, I just love the character because he, like you said, he comes off as this ominous presence, and he comes, like you said, you don't want to run into this guy in the alleyway, and like you said, I just a mountain, and I said I just gotta make him look just as menacing as he is. Like you said, putting fear in his enemies just by looking at him.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. I know that Joe's going to go into more detail here, but Rick, what were you going to say?
I don't care about alleyways. I'm not gonna even want to run into him in a mall or anywhere. I just don't want to run into him ever. No.
Yeah, if he's staring you down, you're already dead. You're already done. That's it.
Yeah.
But so right now it's like 2:11. I want everybody to get one last look at this because I want to hear the stories about the meaning behind the mask. I want to know what 99 means. I want to know all those things, and we're going to hear all of those details from Joe and Rick when they start talking while we're drawing.
Well,
so
thank you for taking the questions out of my mouth.
Okay,
stealing my job.
I just want you to.
You hear that, Joe? I'm not even allowed to ask the question.
You know what I mean?
Are.
What to ask.
You are. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Rick. I just.
You hear it, right?
I did, man. I was hoping that we could have our quality time.
Yeah, I wanted to have a conversation.
Our quality time is being taken away. I really.
It's like Stan, you and I, we'll go do our art thing, and they can have their quality time.
You go do your thing. Me and Joe will do our thing.
Hey, man, we really.
Okay, that being
just trying
said,
to say, Jarrell.
Yeah. So everybody got to see who Dodger is. I want you guys to take a crack at drawing him, and now let's start the clock. Rick is going to be the timekeeper. You let us know in the art show, which is our sister group, if you draw along with us.
20 minutes from now.
Yep.
And remember, when you're done, post it on the art show.
Yes.
And we'll show it for people, for Joe and Stanley here afterwards, who I'm sure would love to see some fan work.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. So now it's my turn. Hi, Joe.
It is your turn.
How are you, Joe?
Welcome back, sir. Welcome back. Our uninhibited time. Let's get it.
Yeah. So I'm sensing some. I don't know why, but that mask instantly made me think of Jason Voorhees. Like a big ass dude with a hockey mask.
Yeah, man. So it's funny. Like I said, my genesis in comics was role playing games, and so I used to. It wasn't necessarily so story wise. It's a reason for that. As far as his brother, like his brother was an athlete who played multiple sports and such. So he had the hockey mask and all that. So that's kind of where Dodger gets it from. From where Joe Currie was in Venn Dodger as a 13-year-old kid was I used to watch a lot of wrestling, and to co-sign what Stan was saying earlier with the football pass. I was a big Road Warriors fan. I was a big Demolition fan, and as a kid, your mind, So I said, what if he had, So I was trying to merge these two ideas into one look of a character, where he had the football pass, and then he had the menacing like mass of demolition the wrestlers used to wear back in the day. So that was the, how I saw it as far as the idea of his look, and then go ahead. I'm sorry, Rick.
No, it's your time. I mean, I also see some Kane. Speaking of wrestling, like the big
man.
ass masked monster. There's a bit of everything.
Kane was later. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's your turn. You speak. Yeah, Kane was later.
Kane when I was older, and but so this is, if you remember the wrestlers, the tag team known as Demolition, they had they looked like it was a very Jason Voorhees-esque too. So that was the idea look wise. Then you got to kind of make it make sense in the story wise. So it was his he was the younger brother of his older brother was like a big sports athlete and star of Rage City, and all that he had the whole fame and would be fortune coming his way, and hockey was one of the sports he played, and he played football and such, and he wore 99, and so that was his number, and so
okay,
and so yeah,
the mystery has been solved.
Yeah. So, it would be on the trains of Rage City where his brother would meet his unfortunate end. Where, and I know we say this all the time. It's cliche sometimes in comics where like the great tragedy happens and then the guy, but it was a narrative that spoke to me, and I was like, let me just try to, let me work it. So that was what 99 comes from. So when he went, he comes from a family that are just stand-up dudes, stand-up men, stand-up women. And so it was that sort of, it was a combination of that incident happening to his brother in front of him, and that family mentality of just being a stand-up person. You don't just let this stuff go, or you don't just get bullied and such. And so Dodger starts his little march to justice by like being like a nightmare on the trains of Rage City. Like, he became like an urban myth about this guy on the trains, like just raising hell, and just like, if you was trying to do something. I don't know, do you guys have Jarrell or Rick, are you guys familiar with the Guardian Angels?
Yes.
They used. I don't know if they in Denmark. They're all across the world though. They in various parts of the world, but they used to be a kind of a vigilante. I would say semi-legal vigilante group. They started in New York, and then they was in Chicago, and they used to patrol the trains. They used to patrol the trains of our city, because a lot of crimes and stuff would happen on the trains, and so that bled into what I was doing. And so it does. So that was like my idea of like having this guy who was like just this, just frighteningly, if you're gonna do something, because it's some criminals sometimes do some harsh stuff. So you have to have a person you have to know what your potential vengeance is gonna look like, or your comeuppance is gonna look like in a form of in form of Dodger, like this big menacing presence on the train. So that was the start.
I love it, and even though you talked about how it was, it's a cliche about the sadness of losing family members. It's still that is still kind of the story that people do get drawn to the most, like the Batman losing the parents,
Spider-Man,
Ben Parker, and it still works even though it's a cliche, because everybody can relate to losing someone, and if you lose someone in a bad way, you would want revenge. So, of course, again,
Yeah.
even though it's a cliche, it still works.
Yeah. And that comes from real life stuff. I've seen like, my uncles were, and people around the way they wouldn't take it if you did something wrong to somebody. Like they wouldn't, it would be like it would be some hell to pay for that. So, so that bled into like the mentality of what Dodger is. But yeah, so that was it. That was like kind of like that push for him to actually start, for me to actually say, hey, this is interesting. I was role playing him first, and one of my buddies had made up his own role playing system, so I made him up in that world and was role playing him then, and then I was able to take what I learned from role playing and then bring him out into the real world, or out into the comic book world, I should say.
That's super interesting. I remember James Saab, who's an incredible writer. He started as a role player as well.
Who is this?
Now James Saab. He's currently writing Conan the Barbarian.
Oh, nice. I'm gonna write that down. All right.
Yeah. So you being a former D&D player will only help you get popular in the long run. That's primarily what you need to be.
Yo, yeah, it's still people. There are still people who do Dungeons and Dragons now and they got characters from like the 80s, the very early 80s, and still run those sessions now. But anyway,
I still play it.
Yeah.
So it's still a thing, and I know it's still a huge thing on streams as well.
Yep.
So this was a guy you originally had for role playing character. And at that time, though, you said he was only wearing pants and a mask.
No, that was Stan was talking about the actual original long time ago design. A buddy of mine, shout out to Whitney Barber. He designed one of the first ones, and like I said, I was a kid, and so we did this kind of. And he did it based off my design. It was like he had an umpire mask and he had the little pad and all that. I'm like, and that's what we did like early. And I'm like 14, 15 years old. So we couldn't work with that. By the time I got him down to the hockey pad, the football shoulder pads, and then the mask. He always had the mask on. The football shoulder pads. It was Stan who came up with the idea of doing them as the rugby jersey. The rugby jersey sort of stuck. So, we was doing all types of sports themes, but the rugby jersey kind of stuck. And what you're seeing now with the one that Stan just posted is kind of like it's like a evolution of that rugby outfit. Like it looks similar to that. And it gave Dodger a more consistent look. Like it gave him, where he looks, you can recognize him a little bit more and kind of different, from like, of course, I go to conventions. It's Casey Jones is what it is.
I was just about to say
his Casey Jones. Yeah. And I used to hear that and go, no, he's not. And I thought about it. I'm a huge TMNT fan. I love the franchise. Could that possibly bled into my whole idea? Possibly. I don't know, but
and that's not a shame. That's not a shame to admit that, because Casey Jones was one of the most popular characters in TMNT after all.
Yeah,
and you draw and create what you like after all. So you just making an even more bigger badass Jason Voorhees / Casey Jones character that just works.
Talk to him, Rick. Talk to him. That's what I'm talking about. Like that was it, man. It was like at first I used to run away, like no. Somebody would say that at a convention, I would just feel, oh my, just blow my whole day. Because you as an artist, we come from an era where, this dude, you want to be original, you want to come up with some original stuff, and so you don't want to. It's like considered biting if you do it. But like after I've grown a little older, the character's been around for a little while, at least at, underground and independent scenes. I'm fine with that. Actually, if somebody says it's Casey Jones, it's complimentary, because I do love that franchise. So I don't take any offense now. I was like, cool,
The story of him being a vigilante on the streets. I mean, and it's okay, because as I spoke so many times before, that people take reference from everything and make it their own. Like when people say when people say, "Oh, your art your art looks a little too much like this or this artist," or I can see you're inspired from it. Yeah, but that artist I'm inspired from was inspired from other artists as well. That's how styles gets created. That's the same with characters. They take inspiration from what they liked and they made a character from it, and then you take take inspiration from that character and mix them together to make your own. That's how creation works in every story. So of course that you can see a little bit of someone else if you really look close enough, if you want to, or instead you can just accept, okay, this is a nice, good-looking character. That's his own, because sure, it reminds the story and the look somewhat can remind you of something, but it's still its own story. It's still its own personality.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, when you get into Punk's Race, you're gonna see a difference between Casey Jones and Dodger. I just say that it's gonna be a difference. And I mean, he's a legendary character from a legendary franchise, but like I took my own little run with it, and to me it's different from what I see in that character now. So it's cool now. But yeah, like you say, we're all inspired. Like when I'm a kid, all this stuff, especially when you're younger, all this stuff is flowing into you. So you are inspired. And I'm in the 90s. So in the 90s, the independent scene was nuts, man. It was people creating everywhere. It was comic books coming from all over the place. So you was getting constant inspiration and constant just influence. And so it was a very good, it was a good time to start creating stuff. So I'm happy that Dodger came out of the era, so to speak.
Hey, I want
6 more minutes. 6 more minutes, guys. You don't have time for Gerald. You don't have time for question.
I want to ask a question. I want to know what is the meaning behind Dodger, like the name Dodger. Was that already asked, or is that? I don't think it was. So tell us a little bit about the meaning behind Dodger.
Can I guess? And you'll probably be mad. That's the name of your favorite sports team.
Of who?
No, he's from Chicago. He's from Chicago. That's LA.
I don't know. I don't know where different teams come from, Gerald. Okay.
Come on, Rick, man. You gotta.
What's up with
I know Vikings come. I know those big ass Vikings comes from Minnesota. That's what I
know. And that's one of our rivals for the great Chicago Cubs. But that's a whole nother story. They beat us in the playoffs about a year or so ago, and they hurt us deep. But thanks, Rick. Thanks, Rick, for reminding me of that. But no, I'm just
it was basically Gerald started that reminder.
Gerald, how could you, man?
It's always Gerald.
That was Rick's. That's Rick's hole to climb out of. But tell us about the Dodgers. Tell us about why it's Dodger.
In football, like I said, there's a lot of inspiration coming from his older brother. He was the Rage City Dodger. So like it was like a football nickname, and thus he just grabbed it and ran with it. So that was it. It ain't too much more than that. Yeah.
Look, Joe, I'm sorry. I don't know that. Don't know American sports. Don't mock me for not knowing. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's all no worries.
I mean, it just made sense in my head that this whole character is based on different sports teams. So the name Dodger, hey, there's a sports team called the Dodgers.
No, that makes sense. But later on, as I continue down his path, you're gonna see there's gonna be some. You're not too far off the case there, Rick. But you'll see later on, and as I progress. But yeah,
I hope Stanley noticed that he crashed, and he will be back soon enough.
No,
it happens. Maybe he had a power.
Come on with it, Jarrell. Come on with it. I see what's happening, Drew. I see what's happening over there.
We're gonna solo lay out Gerald's then. Now that Stanley's not there.
Oh, don't solo me out. You got sick. In fact, I'm trying to I'm just listening because I really. That's the thing about these drawing challenges. I just have to listen because I can't look up. I don't want it to be, because if I start looking at our guest artwork, I'm just going to be mesmerized, and but I'm enjoying the conversation between the two of you guys. So, you want to continue that intimate moment where you guys are talking about Dodger.
Yeah. Molly gets it, by the way. Someone is watching how much time is left. Hurry, paint quickly. Gerald, that's for you.
Joe, you right. I'm talking to Joe Tolliver. He was getting shut out. Yes, sir. Agreed.
Roy Mercado as well. Even cavemen used references when they painted on cave walls.
Talk to him, Roy. You know.
Yeah, see, they get it.
But it's a hurdle to get over because, like you said, you as an artist, as anybody, you don't want to. At least for most that I know, you don't want to be accused of biting. And everybody wants the original moment and all that. But somebody said something to me. A wise man said, it's a lot of stuff that's been done. It's new when you put your own spin on it or whatever. And after a while, I started noticing, we look at even some indie guys. It's a lot of archetypes of Superman, archetypes of Batman, and
yeah.
So
like my favorite superhero comic of all times. I have to say so far because I haven't read yours yet. After all, so I got to say so far is Invincible from Image Comics. After all, and that's basically just Superman with a ton of other superhero comics with a spin on it, made it their own, and made it the most popular superhero comics in the last few decades.
That's a perfect example. Because I started reading Invincible maybe last year, and I know the cartoon. Excuse me, y'all. The cartoon is coming out soon, or at some point. But I just got into the story, and I was going along, and I'm reading it. I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it. If you listening, or grab Invincible, the actual comic book series. The twist they put on that was so. It twisted. It shook me. I was like, I didn't see that coming at all.
There was there is this big ass holy moment in
the first series, in the first arc. The first arc, I go, oh my god. Okay, so now I'm on for the ride. But that's a perfect example of what we were talking about right there, Rick. So you
can easily start. That's what he did so perfectly. Is he started off with everybody getting comfortable in this is just a normal doop, and then bam, out of nowhere something unexpected happens.
So unexpectedly, I was blown away. So but that's goes to show you can take some of the old tropes and archetypes, tropes I should say, and archetypes and just and put your own spin on it.
Yo.
Yeah,
you got 2 more minutes.
2 more minutes? Okay.
Let me see if I can. Go ahead, yo.
Yeah.
I was going to say about that whole Invincible thing. It's like I haven't read it, and Rick keeps on talking about it, and now I got Joe's talking about it, and I saw the trailer for the animated series. I'm gonna have to go read that because I've gotten so many people talking about it.
You gotta, man. There's a reason it was called the greatest superhero comic of the last 2 decades. And people called it that. I even believe professionals called it that.
I can kind of agree with that. I mean, if you're saying straight superhero genre in comics, I can see that. Because we was talking about the last big. What was the last sort of indie comic that was big? And we had Walking Dead. Invincibles.
It's the same writer.
Right, Kirkman.
Walking Dead. Yeah, Kirkman.
And there was another book I can't think of. Saga. Saga was the other one. The third
Saga as well. Yeah.
Kind of big splash in the indie world. So yeah. But anyway, that's
we were just speaking for those that missed. Just speaking of the comic Invincible by Kirkman. The art in there is incredible as well. Not as great as Stanley's gonna rock this, and can't wait for the story. As I continue to say, even though Joel continuously interrupted with me because that's what he do.
I can talk too.
Yes, you can talk. You have shown that you can talk.
All right, Rick, go ahead. Keep on going.
Please breathe. Please remember to breathe sometimes as well.
Okay. Go for it.
And we got Stanley back.
Yes,
he's coming back soon. Right on time.
There he is. Okay. We got you, Stan.
Welcome back, Stan. Just in time because time is actually up.
Okay. What? All right, is Stan done? Actually, ask Stan if he's ready to show because maybe we need to get a little bit more.
I think Stanley only realized it just now because he was looking over and seeing he was gone, but he's been probably been drawing.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right.
Boss Joe says it as well. Time out, boys. Back in your corners.
Okay, all right.
Stop.
Okay, I'm stopping. All right, let's.
I can't believe I have to yell at you every freaking time.
I know you do, because I think maybe I just like you yelling at me. Maybe that's it.
Oh,
yeah. So let's jump.
All right, let's look at that.
There we go. Damn. And it's so freaking clean already. That's the worst part, yo. He started out this clean. No sketching, no nothing. He starts out this clean. How?
Well, I used to. Wait, real quick. I want to say something on that. I used to say, it's like, you know how you see artists they'll do the skeleton first. I used to tell people I go to conventions with Stan, and he'll start not on no kind of skeleton, just drawing from like the elbow, and just draw like no, and just it's insane to watch, even as of me knowing him. I don't know.
Do you do this, Stanley? Do you just do this in the action shots and everything, or do you?
It's in his head.
How? Stanley, you're making us look bad.
No,
oh, he's supposed to. He's supposed to.
Yeah, and you're doing a damn great job at it. I mean, how can he do that just by having it in his mind? That's I need my toothpick, man, and everything.
Yeah.
Hey, Stan,
I need my stick figures.
Do me a favor. Can you?
This is what I tell everybody. I look at it like, just get into it, just draw it. And if I tell everybody, that's why pencils have erasers. You know, you can just correct it as you go. And I just pretty much just get into it and draw what I see. You know, and it's just, you know, I just follow, like Joe said, I just start from a point and I just, you know, follow the line in the image, and it just ends up coming to that for some reason. I don't know why. That's the way I just did it.
It's here. It translates straight from the head to the pencil, and it just comes out there. Can we solo him out one more time? And Stan, can you bring the artwork up to the camera and kind of like, so we can see the detail in here too?
Yeah, we
go. This was only like 15, 20 minutes. And you know that
is nice. It is nice. That's very nice.
He just needs a little bit more time. And you saw those sick pencils that he did when we were doing the elevator pitch. You know, this is just the beginning of something good. So, Stanley, mad props.
Hey, Stan, can I have that, man? I'm just saying.
Yeah, I got you.
Remember to sign it. Remember to sign it, Stanley.
Yeah.
Talk to him, Rick. Talk to him.
I'll finish it up and then I'll sign it for y'all.
Yeah, because and when you're done with it, just send us a picture of it, because we definitely want to feature it on the our Facebook page to definitely promote your appearance again. So all these artwork, we're going to do that. But yeah, Rick is already on the ball here. We're showing some artwork of people that have been drawn along. So here we have
nice.
Who drew this, Rick?
This Logan Tolliver. I believe that's the boss's kid, right?
Oh,
shout out Joe.
So yeah,
Logan Tolliver, Joe's kid did this.
Logan,
nice.
awesome.
How old is he? How old is he, Joe? This is really good. No matter the age, this is good.
Yeah.
I like the difference. It has that different feel.
Uh-huh. I love it. Logan,
okay,
great job.
You were gonna say something about it, Stanley?
No, I was saying that this is a good start, and like you said, I don't know how young he is, but he definitely has some skills. I could definitely see that right there. Oh, he's 14. Okay, 14. So I can see the skills right there. Like you said, just a little bit more on that right there.
So keep at it, Logan. Keep at it.
Let's see who else is here. We got the ever-working Sarah Semper, always joining us with this. She decided to do the vigilante with no name, it seems. Right? That's the name of the no name, right?
Yep.
Yes.
But still, Sarah said she's gonna pick out the one she wanted to do. Go ahead, shout out to Sarah.
Sarah.
And that's fine. You have so many characters. I was about to want to mention that people could do that, but I thought, they'll probably just do it if they find something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this looks really good as well.
Excellent work, Sarah. Excellent work. All right. So did anybody else?
We got Dodger from Brian Acosta.
Brian Acosta. Brian has been on the show several times. Brian, thank you for drawing along.
Appreciate it, Brian.
I think that's the thing about Dodger. I'm going to say this, like when you guys create a character, with a good, successful character design is coming up with that great
there we go.
silhouette, and you look at all of these drawings of Dodger, and you immediately recognize, it's a really strong character design because you can tell by the silhouette of the character. And definitely when I look at this, I was overhearing the conversation. This Dodger is no Casey Jones, right?
Yeah,
Dodger is his own thing, and
we already got through that. Yeah, well,
I know, but I was listening. I wasn't adding in there. So yeah, so that's great.
Hey, one last thing before we stop. Logan, this was really great job. Everybody's was really great. Logan, keep on drawing. You got potential to get better than your father really fast. So keep working.
Oh, was that a slight dig on Joe? What is up with that?
No, I didn't say Joe was bad. I just said Logan will easily be better if he continues.
He did say that like that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joe. You got me.
Yep, I guess it right there.
No,
all right.
Gerald, that wasn't for you. Gerald, your piece is gone. I can't show yours.
Oh, you decide to see Joe and Stanley. This is what I got to deal with. He decides
your cam is gone. Your cam has gone out. Your cam
my camera went out. Oh, okay. I thought
not my fault. See, he was gonna blame me for his mistake.
Okay, is that what? Let me check to see what happened to my camera here. Okay, I apologize, Rick. That was me. I should not have said that about you. So sorry about that.
I got you, Logan. I got you.
All right. So here we go.
So did you even though you were gone, Stanley? Did you manage to see the art show?
Yeah, I was just commenting on the young gentleman's, and I said, like you said, he had potential already. You could see it in the drawing that he had already. So,
all right. So here's my homage to Dodger.
Yeah, that's bad as always. So let's just stop it.
No, that's a sweet.
Come on, man.
That's come on with it, man. That was nice.
I guess it's all right. I guess it's okay.
Rick, you gotta give him credit, man. He placed in the contest we had, man. He killed.
Listen. Outside of this stream, I give him all the credit in the world, but inside this stream, none.
Because he has to. This is part
he don't get none from me.
No love, zero, zero.
Is that a 4x6, Gerald? What size is that?
A 4? Oh yeah, this is only a 5x7 because I gotta keep it small to work on these things really quick. So yeah. So
he has to work small to make it look good.
Man, look, it's a kid I know. Shout out to Jeremy Dawson. He used to actually collect. He's come to these shows for years and collect 5x7 cards or 4x6 cards. I'm sorry, and he's come to artists and literally get them to draw real quick, just like what you guys just did. And he has a collection. I'm gonna try to find that link. If I find it, I'll send it to you because he linked them all. He got them all on a website. It's like it's a few hundred.
It's smart. It's smart as well, but because if you show up with that kind of size when the artists have been done A4 sizes all night, they feel suddenly challenged and feel life up. So you get that little extra perhaps from it because hey, this is new. We've not done this. It's smart.
Yep. Yeah.
Hey, well, I had a treat drawing that, and I think our guests got to see who Dodger is and what Dodger's about. And I loved hearing the backstory in terms, because I think that's another thing about this show that's a little different, is because not only do we get to see the art come off the paper, but we get to hear more. You can read. That's another thing. You can get the Almighty Street Team guidebook if you go to their big cartel thing, and you can get the little bios. It's the Marvel. It's like the Marvel Universe handbook for the Street Team. The Street Team universe. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's Almighty. That's what it is. It's Almighty. So you can do that, but you don't get to see. That's the bio that's in the comic universe, but you don't get to hear the creator's thoughts. Like what does the 99 mean? What is what do the skulls mean? These are things that you get to hear on the show, and that's what I love about this, hearing the insight from the creators. So that being said, let's move to drawing challenge number 2, which we affectionately call the Rick challenge. And this is when if Rick is my co-host, it's just called the Rick challenge. Now, I was telling Rick, or I was telling our guests during the pre-show, that this is a little bit of a fun challenge. It's out of the blue. It's a surprise. So Stanley, I don't know what it's about. Joe, I don't know what it's about. So it's going to be a little bit of a stretch for us. But
This makes it fun.
Yeah, I told Rick that he has to involve Joe. So you already know there's a 10-year friendship between Joe. Well, actually, maybe longer than that. There's a professional drawing relationship that's over 10 years old between Joe and Stanley.
So now, you're gonna ask me how to ruin that?
I'm just gonna tell you, Rick. Don't get. I want Joe to be involved in this challenge, but don't ruin this friendship, because today on the show,
I don't think I can, Joe.
we don't want to be known as the show that destroyed
the showstoppers.
Exactly.
Look, Stan, listen. This man can draw anything. He's a very talented young man. I said before in our pre-show, he can do anything you got.
He can.
So I'm ready. So let's do it.
Let's go.
Okay, Rick. Involve Joe.
Stanley is ready as. Okay, so the talk has been Dungeons and Dragons a little bit here.
Oh.
Stanley didn't like that. Okay, so my plan is here. I'll give you the easy part, Joe. You think of a class. Don't say it. Just think of a Dungeons and Dragons class.
Oh, God. I can see where this is gonna go.
Yeah. I'm ready.
Okay, you got a class in your head, and I'll think of a monster race. Not a playable character race, but a monster race.
Oh, I don't know where this is going.
Might get a call.
Sorry about that.
Goddamn, Joel. Roy is ready. So, speak your class.
I'm gonna go with Warlock.
Okay, so I got a troll behemoth. So a warlock troll.
Come on.
What was that again? I want to hear that again.
A warlock troll.
A warlock troll. Did you hear that, Stanley? He wants us to draw a warlock troll.
No.
I'm writing this down.
No, listen. Me and Joe want you to draw a warlock troll.
Hey, Rick, you got a name for this warlock troll?
Bert.
Bert.
And you need to spell it B-U-R-T.
I'm writing this down.
Hey, pay me $5 and it's yours.
Hey, man. Listen, if it comes out, it's gonna be in your PayPal, and we got it on recorded camera here.
Okay.
Oh yeah, $5 coming up.
All right, here we go.
You got it. I'll give for this one. Seeing it's hard, I'll give you 25 minutes.
Okay, all right. So just so we get this straight, it's going to be Warlock. It's going to be Bert, the Warlock
troll.
Yeah,
Bert, the Warlock troll.
Okay, all right. Here we go. You start the clock.
I see Stanley shaking his head in the background over there. He's like, "Oh God, that he." I think I managed to do it, Joe. I think I managed to get him.
I'm interested in seeing how this just kind of this is great. Let me see.
I can't wait to see Logan and Sarah and Roy do their versions of a warlock troll named Bert.
Okay, warlock troll.
So speaking of Dungeons and Dragons, I have to nerd out a little. This is also where we speak a little bit nerd more than maybe focusing a little of the other. Who was your favorite? What was your main class in Dungeons and Dragons?
So
Joe?
I used to play a wizard or a warlock, but here's the thing that made it great for Dungeons and Dragons. I played Dungeons and Dragons probably when I was a kid, right? Like, so I was really young. What happened was a buddy of mine he created Dungeons and Dragons where I started. He created and we were teenagers. This made it kind of incredible. He created his own world. So we played in like this other, what do you call it? It's a name for that when you craft your own world. It's the homebrewed. He had a homebrew world that we used to play in more like. So although Dungeons was my start, and I used to play more magical characters, warlocks or wizards, I played primarily in his world pretty much from from a kid to now to like maybe 18 to now. But I was always impressed with like the magical characters. And then when we were really young, you know, you into the warriors, you want to be the fighter and all that, but that's not as fun. Magic is some of the funnest stuff you can actually do. So the magical characters are the fun. What about you?
Me, I've always been the melee character. I've always been the tank, the warrior that goes straight into things and just take all the damage and just barbarian warrior, and even monk. You know, I am a Viking after all, so I got to get in there.
That's true. You're right.
I got to get in there.
We
you can say
we used to play, and you hopefully got a healer in your.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No, hopefully you got a healer in your band, because usually the warrior gets out there and takes damage, gets hurt.
I need two.
We got to heal him up. You know, so
I usually have two, Joe, because I need two. My dice roll luck isn't that good, so I need two healers.
Dude, and that's another thing about dungeons and role-playing games in general. If you can have the greatest character in the history of our RPG, and if your luck is not good, especially on D20 based games in general.
Oh yeah.
If your dice rolls are horrible, it's gonna be a long night, and you're gonna, as a player, you're gonna have a tough time. You're just gonna, you know, I played before this, I played last night, and I had a semi-okay rolling night, and it got me through. But yeah, the luck of the dice is everything, man. You know, I see what's happening over there. I see you both. I see. Let me see what we got. Drill. What we got? Okay.
It's too light right now, but
it gets the idea. It gets the idea going. I like where Stanley is going with his as well.
Stan got that more beard, that more Viking approach on his. You know what I mean? I see what's happening.
Yeah, I'm always a fan of a beard. Sadly I had a bigger one at some point, but then it caught on fire because I was helping. I was helping someone with blowing out a birthday cake, and it came too close, and it says,
"No." Well,
yeah. You know, I cried like a little girl, Joe. I'm not gonna lie.
Well,
I spent almost a year letting it grow out. I think it was about this size and everything, and this stuff. I cried.
That would have been nuts. Hopefully, they was able to. Well, here's the thing too. I've seen people who, in the pandemic, since nobody's really going anywhere, they got like not only they grow out the beard is super long, and they got like hair out, you know. So it's, you know, neither one of you got a pandemic beard.
No, because mine burned. I mean,
yeah, you think about ever doing it again? Or no, that was it. One and done.
No, I'm growing it out again because I look like a little kid if I don't have a beard. I look like a little boy, and I don't want that. I don't want that. My voice might sound like I'm a little boy, but I don't want to look like a little boy. And you know what? And what do you mean about pandemic beard? This is Gerald's pandemic beard. This is how Gerald looks. This is Gerald's pandemic beard. This is
Gerald.
Yeah, this is how long his beard can be.
I could not grow a beard, because if I try to grow, it would be even a poor excuse for a Fu Manchu. It'd be like one hair coming out here, one hair coming out here. It just wouldn't. That's why I shave, because it's just I couldn't do a Viking beard like my esteemed co-host here. So
no, that's okay. That's okay.
If you want to look at my beard, go a few videos back. It is. Before the burn.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab you on Facebook or Instagram when this is over, so I can see what's going on.
I don't have Instagram because
you got Facebook.
Yeah.
I grab you on Facebook, but yeah, man, no, I understand. But yeah, so that was my whole thing as far as our RPG. We got a lot of homebrewed worlds. We got a lot of you know, it's different. You know, my friend now got a fantasy like version of. He has his own version of like Dungeons and Dragons. I play a wizard in that.
Of course. So, yeah.
So it's like a lot of it's just a lot of fun, man. I wish I had some pictures, but I'll find them later. But yeah, I don't know. So yeah, our RPG is what we do. We still hopefully, are you guys looking forward to conventions coming back? Are you skeptical about going to conventions? How do you feel about that part?
I'm Danish. There's no conventions here.
No, it's some in the near area, isn't it? Somewhere.
Yeah, in England.
Okay.
So that's a little trip. And here's the sad story that I usually
that's a big show too.
Yeah, here's the sad story also that I tend to talk about, so people can feel really bad for me. We have one comic store in all of Denmark.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah.
That is so sad.
What's happening in Denmark, man?
They don't believe in comics.
And it's weird because there's a lot of comic book, like over across seas. There's a lot. The passion for it, man, is pretty strong. I guess Denmark is not really getting it, man, because
I mean, we have our own Northern mythology comic, but it wasn't really like superhero comic-ish.
Yeah. And then like you gotta, because I remember a long time ago when I was doing it, we have it's a distribution company called Diamond. Diamond is like the big, actually it's the only one left now, really, to be honest, that distribute comics all across the world for us. And we didn't get to Denmark. We got to Australia, England, Canada, and I think that's it. I think somehow, some way Germany, and that was in the 90s. So I thought
that's just under Denmark, so you were close.
Yeah. but yeah, it's in the comic books in stores. And was it ever more comic book stores out there, or they just started closing?
Two. I think we had two in total.
Okay.
At one point, but comics was never really a big deal here, big thing here, and that's funny when you think about it, because some of the biggest like Magic the Gathering artists is actually Norwegians and Danes now, like Evan, and can't remember his. So we got a lot of great artists like that do fantasy designs and illustrations, but not really comics.
Is it a comic?
So that's where I come in. I'm gonna be that guy.
There you go.
Exactly.
Because I was asking us, is there a culture, like, is there like even an indie kind of? Because out of the blue, man, in the 90s, in the United States, we had this comics code, right? And for like the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and like you had to do comics a certain way. Like you couldn't put curse word. It's really, that's why, like, if you see some old Batman comics or even an old show, he's very happy. He's dancing. He's jumping around. Like he's not really what we know now as the dark brooding, So it was this indie kind of culture where everybody was doing. I mean, we was like people were rebelling against that code, so it was like an underground community of just people doing it. Is anything like that happening, or that you know of? No,
not really. No, because there's just not. I don't think that there'll be the sale in it here in Denmark.
Oh, okay.
And so if there is any indie thing, we're doing it via and through American comics in some way, one way or the other.
Like Rick, you gotta start it, man. This is your time. It's time to shine.
My time to shine. Yeah.
But no,
I'll just happily be the first Danish comic book artist that both worked at DC and Marvel and is the greatest in the world. I'll be fine with that. But I see here with Stanley, I gotta fight for it. I'm gonna fight Stanley for that spot.
Dude, he gave him a staff.
Yeah, of course. He's a warlock. Warlock needs staffs. How else are they gonna walk?
That's true.
Uh-oh, I don't have a staff. I need to work at a staff.
Well, why do you think I said it so loudly, Joel? Just to point it out.
I just thought warlocks were like magic users, and that was enough. That was enough. That was enough. That's not a prerequisite. They don't have to.
And I also see you went with the Lord of the Rings kind of troll, which I really like. It's good. It just shows that with my challenges, people get something different out of it, because we jump from Stanley's here. That's kind of how I imagined when you said warlock and I said troll would end up in one way or the other with the hat and the staff and the beard, and then we see Gerald completely going in from the other side, messing it up all the way. His messy scribbles is trying to make it look like a design, which
okay,
it's an attempt.
You're not soloing my camera, are you? Because I'm not even looking.
Am.
You are.
I am
okay.
soloing, yeah, while I'm talking, while I'm giving you crap. Yeah, really good, and I think we have.
How much time do we have? Yeah.
7 minutes, if
7
I
minutes.
remember.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I was busy talking with Joe.
I think that's right. I mean,
yeah, I was thinking about. I was talking with Joe here of Dungeons Dragons. After all,
let me see. Alright, serial blocks change years people through the time. I was reading some of the comments.
Are the comments?
There's a good one here. If Gerald grew a mustache, he'll go from Japanese to Chinese wise man real quick. And Roy, in order to you need a little more than a beard in order to be wise.
I knew that was coming out.
You also need the intellect. So.
Yeah. Okay.
And then Sarah is with me here with the same position in Egypt when it comes to comics. Yeah, I think it's that's the basic thing, except for like France and Belgium. They make comics like Tintin and that kind of stuff. So those kind of comics we do have, and those were popular.
It's funny because I was at my comic book shop yesterday, and the guy we get graphic novels in, and we get them from overseas, all over the place. And he said, and they're in different languages, so some Italian, French, what have you. And he was like, they got a box that says take a chance on a European graphic novel that has a different a different language than yours. And I thought about it because the art is fucking beautiful, but I wouldn't know what's going on. I would have to sit there and translate everything I'm reading and go, okay.
You need that Google Translate app while you're reading.
Right. And so I don't know. I had to wait and see, but they was really pushing it. I know in Italy and in France is a big, it's a huge, they take it really serious. It's a huge market. They got like their own these big old 11x17 graphic novels.
Yes, they do. And
we don't do it in that small comic size as well. Our comic books, and when I say our, I speak as a European. We have a whole other size for our comics, and it's more book-like than your papers.
It's more like a graphic novel. It's like a graphic novel. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, Gerald. Can you just
just draw? You're telling me to shut up and draw, right? Is that what you're saying?
Shut up and draw.
Let me see.
5 more minutes. Yeah. Oh, you were watching. Sorry, Joe.
No, I say put some skulls on his back. Okay, I see what we're doing.
But yeah, as I was saying as well, you can get most of those comics with English as well, Joe, because they get translated. They most likely have them translated themselves, the companies.
Yeah, now I've seen some, but like when we used to, I remember this is like back in the day. I've seen some now that are translated, but back when they used to be big. They used to be in hardbound, 48 pages, and they would reprint them from time to time. You would get them, because it was like they would get some artists. Sometimes the artists are from the States, and they would do a bid over in Italy, and then they would produce it, publish it, and then it'll be like a big thing, and they'll only reprint them every so often. But it was, Sarah said, Italian comics, but it's more magical girls. So okay, cool.
Yeah, there's a good some good. My favorite was I think it was from Belgium. Was called Torkel. It's a very Nordic warrior and knights.
Okay,
that's really good. Really good stuff there. It's more not so much superhero.
But that's cool.
More based on magic and fantasy, and I think there'll be a lot that you'd probably like as well.
Yeah, no, I'm really I can go. It's funny. We do street comics and such. We've done comics in all genres. Like outside of what we do with Street Team, we do other genres here and there. Stan, we enjoy it all. Like if it's done well, like I used to go to I was joking the other day. I said we used to go to the counter, and I was into if it was just a cartoon. So I would go to the counter with like a Superman, Archie comic, Bone, and I have these different. These are three totally different things. But I was just into it. If it was done if it was done well and you followed it, I'm with it.
Exactly, and I'm really not grown into a certain genre myself. As long as it captures me like almost instantly, like again, Invincible did.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Walking
all in
Dead.
for it. What? Or Walking Dead.
Or Walking
yeah.
Dead. Like Walking Dead came out of nowhere. I was just sitting. I was just, and it's black and white, so the story itself has to draw you in, and make you want to follow.
They're just coming out with colored versions now.
I saw that. I seen that, and I got this other book that I haven't. Do you guys stack up books to read and just never read them like I do?
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a stack in a corner of stuff I got to read, but it's a book. It's in Europe. It's it's The Walking Dead. I gotta go grab that. I can't remember where it happened, but they basically telling the Walking Dead story overseas. What happened there?
That's interesting.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's like a one shot though. It's a one shot hard graphic novel.
Nice.
I was laughing. You brought because I remember when there was a comic book story that they did for The Walking Dead where the issue was the origin of the virus that caused it. And then they said this actually came from outer space. It was kind of like one of those type like tongue in cheek joking things where it's like everybody was speculating. Oh, the virus was like a biological experiment. It was all this type of things. And then the story was, no, it actually came from outer space. Aliens did it. Aliens.
Of course, aliens.
They ended it. I don't know if you guys were fans toward the end when they ended it, the actual comic series. And I don't even know how you got, if you did read it, how you felt about it. I felt some type of way about it. I wanted a definitive. They didn't really give a definitive ending to me, in my humble opinion. It was okay.
I agree.
I mean, isn't that a good thing that there's not a direct ending to it, and there's that feel that okay, life goes on, things continue.
In some stories, absolutely. Yeah. In other stories where we've hung on for what was it, 200 issues?
Years.
How many long? We've gone on a 17-year run with this, and fans have stuck in there. Give us that, but like
just let the zombies take over the world at the final issue.
I'm cool with that as long as it's like, but it was okay. They gave it the happy, semi-happy ending for what it's worth to that world. But they still to this day, as we speak, don't let you know where this thing came from, how it happened.
I like that. I personally like the idea that it's not found out, that it's not like Resident Evil kind of that the reason overtakes the actual zombie story, like it kind of did with Resident Evil in the end. That it was more focused on the company that did it rather than
Umbrella,
the whole situation. So I kind of like that.
Okay.
All right, guys, pencils down.
Pencils down.
Yeah.
Okay. To follow up on that conversation you had, at least the ending was not like Game of Thrones, because I can tell you there that Game of Thrones was like, what did I just watch in this last season? That was talk about an investment over years, and then they just totally screwed it up.
Hey, I like the final, so let's not even go there.
You like the final?
Yeah.
Come on with it, Stan. Come on with it, Drew.
All right.
Let's. I said pencils down.
Okay, look what Stan did.
That's kind of sweet, dude. That's kind of sweet, Stan.
I mean, Stan, why did you even look worried when I said troll warlock? I mean, it seems like you had it all this time.
Yeah, this is like killer.
It's the scepter, dude. The scepter gets it over.
Yeah, it reminds me of like Gandalf's half brother was a troll, and that's what he would look like.
All right, so Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I totally went in a different direction, and I made it look like because when I think of mages or not mages, when I think of warlocks, they have like these robes and like jewelry or like all these like relics and things like that. But I don't really see like trolls wearing those type of things, like, or at least the trolls that I think of. So I put like skulls on his back and made him look like he does wield magic, but I don't see him carrying around a staff. Maybe a big club with a staff as a staff. I don't know.
But you know what's
anyway.
Dope? The skulls on his back. Yeah, I could tell a story with that. Like I can see him using that. Sure. That's fire.
Thank you for saving me. Thank you for saving me, because I know that Rick was probably going to say that's
Rick was giving you
warlock.
He's giving you
I was actually saying the damn same, Diablo. Why are you always hating on me? Why are you hating so much?
He's giving you no dog in the fight, bro.
No. I think it's because that's what I'm used to. I'm used to the default, thing where he does that to me. Oh, look at this.
This is from Roy.
Nice.
Roy.
He's apparently annoyed that he used the wrong spell again.
It's the hoof legs that
yeah.
Yes, that's something. And I like how he made the arms like really, really long. And yeah, that's sick. Thanks, sweet. Roy. Yeah.
We also have from Sarah.
Nice.
Again.
That's so cute. It's so cute. Yeah.
And that's what I like when I said troll, because a troll can be interpreted in so many different ways. Mm-hmm. If I had said like orc, everybody would have thought big, scary, and barbaric, right? So
right.
While saying troll, it can also be like a small little pumpkin-sized thing.
That's true. That is so
true. We
true.
also got here from Logan again, looking real good. He nailed it. Real good.
Looks like Logan has the skulls on his shoulder pads. Looks like he could be brothers to Dodger. He just needs
real good work. Speaking of Dodger, we have some. We also have some latecomers here. Wait, where are they?
There?
I see them. Hang on. I see them that they are there.
Maybe you just need to refresh.
I just did, yo.
Just trying to help.
Bird. Oh, there's a bird here from Brian as well. Yeah,
that's the troll.
Good job. I like the big tusk like earrings.
We have one here from Danny Madsen, Dodger.
That's Danny. Dope. Mask off. Shout out to Danny.
Danny,
and awesome.
Roy as well.
Look at that.
Nice. I did a Dodger.
Nice.
These are all great. Thank you so much, man. Danny. Thank you, Roy. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Sarah.
And especially thank you, Logan. Keep working, buddy.
Then Logan. Yes, Logan. Thank you so much. Looks so cool. So how do you guys feel? You got like some instant fan art here. You got people that are following you already.
That's fire, man. Thank y'all.
Stanley seems to have some camera issues, but we hope he'll get back soon enough.
Okay. Yeah, we'll while we're waiting for him to get on, let me go ahead, because he knows who the character is that we're going to show, because this is our third. We're going to move into our third drawing challenge, and that is a character that both Joe and Stanley created. And I know I'm going to mispronounce this, so real
quick backstory. I didn't mean to cut you.
No.
So one of our in Street Team, we have people who are affiliated with us as well. So yes. The creator is Amina Armour of the Ziva Jones, but she's still a part of the original. When we originally came together, she was like the first one out of the gate that went and represented the clique. So that's the character. So it's Amina Armour. Shout out to Amina, who created the Ziva Jones.
She created it. Okay, I see what you're saying.
But she's still part of our family. Like when you saw her in the she's in that long picture of everybody. That's the only group shot of everybody. She's in that. So yeah.
Okay, so just to keep it clear and keep it all on the level in terms of like this was created by, what was her name again? Who was
Amina Armour.
Amina Armour, yes. So let me
armor like the it's spelled like armor, like what
precisely.
You wear.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
That is a
kick-ass name.
That is the coolest name.
Yeah,
that's like a max power level kind of name.
It is.
Right.
That's what's up. But yeah, when we first was doing, like, we was spitball, like, on that forum that we were on, she was part of that forum. And when we first did our first show ever, representing the street team family, or she the first one out of the gate, and who had the the logo on it, like when we first was forming into a group. So yeah, so that's her.
Yeah, so this is another just really cool character from the Street Team Studio universe, and her name is Daziva. Is that right? Daziva Jones. Is that okay? Good. I pronounced it correctly. All right. So we got, and this artwork is by Stan. Stan, you drew this, right? This is your artwork. Yeah. So like, I wanted to make sure that because I wanted to make sure that I credit. If it is Miss Armor, I want to make sure that she gets her propers. If it
Miss
is
Armor, that's a superhero name right there.
That's right, Ms. Armor, Ms. Armor. Yeah, but and she's a part of. Well, actually, we'll save like the description of like, because I want Stanley and I want Joe. Stanley, you can talk a little bit before you go into drawing. But I wanted everybody to kind of know, just like we did with Dodger, to hear about Daziva Jones, her character, like how she came about. And then of course I want our audience to check out these drawings, because we want you to draw along with us, and so you can get a preview. Here she is. She's like interacting with Stalker here, and I like this playful attitude. It's like she's like, I don't need technology. I can kick everybody's butt. And then we actually didn't get this. Stalker's dog here. What's his name? Does he have?
Bear.
What was that again? Bear. That's what it is. I couldn't remember it.
I'm sorry. That's just my logic. My logic thinking brain that just went pop. Why do you call a dog for bear? That makes sense.
Because he's vicious. He's like a bear. Yeah.
It's just me, because I think logically, yes, almost all the time. So I just heard my dog is called Bear, and I was for a second but it does make sense, because
that is
like a bear.
A common name that at least we use in the States for like big dogs, big husky. Sometimes they'll call them. I've heard bear a couple of times, and Rottweilers especially.
Yeah. It's just so funny, because it's almost like he's like looking at Daziva and like, yeah, I know Stalker can do all this technology stuff, but Daziva can just get it done with her own, just like her own style. So I want people to check out these illustrations, and we're gonna start the clock pretty soon. I just want people to absorb this, because this is another classic character design, distinctive look, and I want to hear exactly her role in terms of, because there is a definite like way that they're doing the street team, and how the street team has a roster, and it's almost like, for lack of a better word, there's like an Avengers roster. It's a rotating roster, and I want Joe and Stanley to talk about that. So Stanley, before we get into drawing, Stanley, do you want to talk a little bit before? Go ahead and say some words.
Okay, so like we discussed previously, this is like a rotating team at all times. She's not featured in the Almighty Street Team initial, what you're seeing right now, the comic book right now, but she's going to be featured in an upcoming project called the Stalker Journals. And Stalker Journals is going to be a prequel to the Almighty Street Team. Basically, it's a story that shows how Stalker recruited each and every character in the book to join in the fight to go against Ogun. But like Joe said, Daziva Jones already has a book that she already had previously. So she has a standalone book already by Amina. But this character was pretty much a brainchild of Amina. And of course, Amina came to me as well with this character design. And at first we came up with a character design. The whole premise is all Amina. The character has a samurai sword. She has a shotgun. She has telekinesis powers, clairvoyant. All that's Amina. But she wanted to create a character that is not your typical female superhero or whatever. So at first we came up with the first character design. She just wore a bulletproof vest, same pants, whatever. So she has a couple of different forms, but then after a while, after coming together and thinking, we came up with more of a edgier street-like role when she told me she was a bodyguard. And I said, okay, well, we need something that's going to give her more of a street look. So a leather jacket came about. And then she still wears her bulletproof vest up under her chest. Then we gave her some jeans and some more of more of a biker boot, so she can get a little bit more rough and rugged. She wears like a tank. So and then we wanted her to be built not like your typical female superhero. She's a little bit more on a thick side, a heavy side, thick side. She's not thin, but she's really thick, but she's athletic as well. So we wanted to, give everybody the opportunity to say, okay, I can see myself being some female in a more of a thicker set female. And of course, like you said, she has a dark side to her as well. She loves to get into fights, and sometimes she loses control. So this whole look gave me this look like, yeah, this would be somebody cool walking down the street. Basically like the Equalizer, so to speak.
Yeah.
So this will be like, this person's like an Equalizer, like Queen Latifah show, but this what Queen Latifah would have been. So the look, the whole Afrocentric look, dreads. Amina, of course, gave me the privilege of just working the magic, and it came out to this. So it come to fan favorite with the females. The females love this character. So I love the character too, because it is, it does give this street level of a female character that can hang with the boys and stuff like that. So she's going to be featured in the Stalker Journals and hopefully in some future stories as well. So, but yeah, that's how we actually put it in, because she was, like Joe said, she was originally in the first cast, but then we altered the story a little bit and basically removed her and put it into my story. So she would have more of a bigger role in the Stalker Journals.
That is great to hear. And I think we lost Rick. Oh, no, Rick just came back just in time.
Okay. So goddamn power outages.
Denmark. Denmark is experiencing what happened in Texas. Here in the United States. At least that's what I hope. I hope you're not. Is it because of you guys having some bad weather out there in Denmark?
No, our weather is absolutely perfect, and
okay.
And it's been bad. The last few months we've had what you guys would call bad weather, but what we Danes just call weather.
Exactly. Winters
and everything has been fine. But then when everything is about to thaw up and be warm, suddenly power outages. What the absolute?
That is so weird. When things thaw out, you guys have power failures. But you're back just in time, Rick, because we got Stanley's take on Daziva Jones, her story in terms, or at least her background from his mind. But there's plenty of opportunity for you to pick Joe's brain and get into the mind in terms of like how her story is gonna evolve into the street team and being able to explain the rotating roster that's going on there. So let's get ready to start the clock.
Yeah, it's 20 minutes. 20 minutes past now. So let's say I gave you 25 minutes last time. So let's say 10 minutes now. Just 10 minutes. Let's make it speedy. 10 minutes.
Okay. How about we start with 10 minutes and see where we are from there? Right, Stan?
10 minutes, Joe.
All right. Okay. All right. Go ahead and talk with Joe there.
I'll talk with Joe. Don't you worry. I like talking with Joe.
Our quality time.
Yeah. It's quality time.
Okay.
So my first question, or my first thought here is, I like that you didn't just draw her as your usual female superhero looking kind of archetype. She has that more normal female look to her. So was that intentional, or was that do you know that Joe, if that was intentional, that she had to look as a normal looking as possible, but still looked like she was able to kick ass?
Yeah, she is. It was purpose. It was Amina designed her on purpose to be a little thicker, to have some curves, but at the same time, very athletic, and God knows she can fight. So
So what is her backstory? You kind of told you probably told her while I was power outages, but
yeah,
she's like, I mean, she has her own series. Stamps broke it down a little bit. And he's designed her more with Amina than I have. But I know she's like, she for us, at least for the street team, she's like an enforcer. So I can say that.
coming in if shit's really going down.
Right, she's a bodyguard by trade. She has telepathic powers, and her own book, I had the book and I was meant to take a look at it because I haven't read it. It's been years, and I probably should have read it before coming into the show, but just to refresh myself as to
not even researched, yo. Tisk.
I know, sad, right? But yeah, so that's pretty much how she fits on our team, and like she doesn't appear in the Almighty Street Team book, or actually I can't say this because I don't want to ruin it, so I'll shut up. But
no spoilers.
But she definitely appears in the Stalker journals, and you get to see how she became a part of our team. So in the Stalker journals, you get a more in depth as to how Stan recruited her and how she became a part of the team.
And that's been something I've been wanting to talk about as well, because the way you speak with these characters and all and everything, you make it sound like there's been comics out for years with these people, and it's not just it's not new. This has been going on for years with comics being out, and a lot of issues. Or am I mistaking it here?
No, you're not. Ziva got her own series out already. It came out. It was. I was saying. I think you were out. It may have been the power outage, but she was the first out of the canon for us. Like, she's represented the flag, the street team flag, and everything. So her book maybe 2010, I think I want to say.
Oh,
So
and what about the others? How long?
Yeah, the solo books that are out, Punks of Rage been out since 2010. James Mason, Urban Shogun's been out since like 05, I believe. And Blackbird's been out for a while. So they all had their solo stories before we came into being, before they were all merged into what the street team is. And
you heard it here first, guys. Then that means there's a lot of stuff for you to already go in and get if you want to read this stuff. This is not just you having to wait for the first issue to come out or anything. No, they've been doing this for many years now, and a lot of stuff to get going with. I see here Joe is already saying that Logan cheated a little bit and started early. It's okay. Logan is allowed. Logan of all people is allowed.
Let me see. Come on with it, y'all. Come on with it. But yeah, so that was story there. And then, I mean, that's why I'm like, when we do the Stalker journals, you're gonna get a kind of you're gonna get a really good behind the scenes idea of why Stalker is so important to the group. Why he's like the core of it, the linchpin. The you know what I mean. So you get to see, and it's not that many street team members yet. I think on the signal right now it's probably 8 people in total. So
8 people. That's 8 more people than I got going in my universe.
Hey man, but think about this though. It's the cool thing is that each the power of each of these come from a universe themselves. So it's the power of the creator. You combine all that creativity into one thing. It makes for something special. So yeah. So I think that's the kind of the secret sauce or the magic that makes our thing work, is that it's coming from another creator. So Dodgers, Mead, Stalker, Stan, Mina has Ziva, so forth and so on. So it's a cool cool thing when it happens.
I like that idea, putting completely different personalities into the same group and see how they work out, and make stories come from that. But I got to ask you then, of all the people here that you have, when it comes to characters, of all the people here you have on your of your characters, who's your favorite? And you're not allowed to pick your own creation.
Dodger. No, I'm just kidding.
No, you didn't hear me, Joe. You're not allowed to pick your own creation.
You know, we had they're doing a film, right? And we had this behind the scenes talk about like, what would you like to see? Who, if it was a solo movie done, who would we like to see? And we kind of voted, and not because Stan is on here and he's drawn, because I've told us to stand, you know, behind the scenes. But I think Stalker is cool because he's the connective tissue for all of us. Like that's the great connector to every member of the team. So that's you know, so that if I had to vote for one, it'd be a Stalker. You know,
and just to be sure, Stan, Stalker was the Tony Stark Batman kind of character, right? Of the group.
That's why he's perfect. He's perfect for that.
I was about to say, well, Marvel started their movie cinematic universe out with Tony Stark, so of course the one to put them together has to be the rich guy, right?
Yeah, I mean it definitely helps, you know. But and it's not just the money. He has a change of heart, you know. It's a change of heart, Rick. He goes from being a bounty hunter out there running around and doing some semi dirty stuff and all types of craziness. He changes his heart. And then that combined with bringing us all together, you know.
I have a change of heart every time I start this stream. I'm so excited until I hear Joe start talking.
No,
here we go. No. See, I told you it's not all just me. Listen to this guy. He's doing it.
but yeah, but you know, that's how you get that's how you to me get a complex character that's really good to take a look at. Go ahead.
I'm sorry I baffled you there for a second, Joe.
No, Jarrell's cool, man. That poor man. He's working so hard over there, just doing what he does, you know. But yeah,
he's working hard and sweating this 10-minute thing that's actually almost about up.
What?
And Stanley is just here slowly and steadily, without a worry, creating a masterpiece again. I'm not mad at you, Stanley. I'm not mad at you, Stanley. I'm just jealous.
Rick, put the camera on Gerald. Let's see what he got. What we got. Okay, Gerald, we got something.
Yeah.
I need more time. I need more time, Rick. Come on, man. Give me more minutes.
Okay, there, fine. 2 more minutes.
The shotgun action.
2 more minutes.
Yeah, give me some time to flesh this out.
But I'm only doing this so Stanley can finish the afro the hair over here, not the afro. Sorry. But yeah, 2 more minutes from now, actually, because time would have been up now.
Okay. All right. Good. Give me some more time.
Oh, you know what? Let me look and see. You putting the earrings on it too, Stan? Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The earrings is on both of them as well.
All right, let's see.
So another question, Joe. Do you have is there plans for adding more characters, or are you like 8 people to make a story out of is fine for now?
Sean wants to. We've talked about it, like adding some more to we call it the signal. Like it was a comic book called Global Frequency. You just add them to the signal, whatever. But it comes with we have 2 ideas in that. So you know, some ideas of adding our own characters to it, but you know, or like if somebody come into the group who has just like we are, like an avatar, they have a character, we might entertain that. But as of now, man, just like the show, man, 8 is enough. 8 is good. for now.
I was about to say, I've been wanting to say this almost all the stream while we've been talking about Dungeons and Dragons. If you want to come together and make a fantasy comic, just find me.
That's dope. You know, I'm open for, like, I'm always open, man. Like I got some ideas as far as that goes. It's one of those things. That's so Stan. It's hard for me. I tunnel vision, right? I do the one thing, and then once I'm done with that, boom, man, I jump to that next thing. If it's something that's with that I can do, I'm with it. And I'm excited about, then yeah, I'm with that.
Well,
because it's fun.
It's also fun. It's also fun to change your pace a little bit. Like I also can get boring. Usually when I work, I always say I work on like 4 projects at a time, because I can't just sit and work on the same project all the time, because then I'll get annoyed at it or get frustrated at it, and then instead of doing that, I just switch over to the other project and start and do some stuff there.
That makes a lot of sense. And it's, to me, I think you have to, like, I see artists, like I see McFarlane go on his run, and he's done Spawn for like 300 plus issues and pretty much nothing else. And I go, man, I don't know. Cause that's like a long time to do like one thing. You know what I mean? So I feel you on that. But I can't multitask well. Like I have to do the one thing, boom, and then finish that. And then, I don't know. But I've heard other artists say that. I think artists say that more so than writers. Like I think they just, because they can just switch up and do anything.
Yeah. Pencils down, guys.
What? Pencils down. Oh,
Gerald,
okay.
Gerald, I see you. I see your cam.
No,
Gerald. Gerald, I see your cam.
Let's look at Stan's artwork.
Put your pencil down, boy.
My pencil is down. My pencil's down. All right. Oh, that is so.
I like the cartoony look on her facial expressions as well.
That's nice.
I like the attitude. You got instant attitude from there. It's like, yeah, what are you looking at? I'm gonna take you down right there. So that is. We got a
Chris Turner in the house mentioning your street team shirts.
He's just such a generous young man. He is just so.
Yes. Yeah, thank you.
He got his on.
I was talking to Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
I was telling Chris. Yeah, Chris. I was hoping that he'd be on the show. Oh, I guess I'm looking at my artwork. Let me get mine in frame here. So I wanted to have a little bit more time to flesh out the characters.
Stop complaining. You got the time you needed.
But Rick didn't give me enough time. But I wanted to capture. I wanted to capture the attitude too. Like she's smiling at you while you're staring down the barrel of a shotgun. So I just like that attitude.
Yeah, you tell him, Alfred.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, let's not Joe Tolliver as well with the Stanley. Let's not overlook the boob action. It's hard.
Hey man, listen. If he'd have been around in the 90s.
Yes, I know. The image era there. That was some really, really interesting depictions of characters back in the 90s. But yeah, I tell you, it's such a treat, seeing that. So yeah, did we get anybody else draw along?
We got Logan coming first here.
Logan is killing it, man.
Oh yeah, and the boob action as well. And the sword. I'm guessing it's a sword. It looks really good.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Really great work as always, Logan. Almost getting better by the second.
Ooh.
I can't wait for you to come in here in a few years and we to interview you, Logan, with your comic.
Yeah. And
nice,
Sarah.
Nice.
Come on with it, Sarah. Come on with it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like how she has.
She got that smile going on as well.
Uh-huh.
And the
Sarah
action.
Sarah and I were on the same page there. So very cool. Very cool.
And that was it for now, I think. Maybe Roy will pop up before we end it all. Maybe
I think
not,
that if there's anybody who wants to draw, I mean, if we're gonna keep on going, through the rest of the show. But if you decide to, did we lose Stanley? Is Stanley?
Yeah, he'll be back. He jumps out and off. Just go on.
Okay, all right. So
he will return.
Yes, he will return. He will return.
I got trust in the man.
You know me.
Okay. So we got to go through the live drawing. I think I heard a pop. Does that mean he's back?
Yeah. Can you just continue, Gerald? I got this, okay?
I know, but Stanley is
professionalism.
I know. I just want to, because I got to have both of these guys on the next
see what
segment.
I'm working with, Joe?
Oh, here we go.
I need to keep
the whole
busy
show.
Working.
The whole show.
The whole.
And I do it for people, and I do it for people like you, Joe.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
And the fans.
Okay,
it's all love. It's all love.
Right on top of Raid City.
Right. Well, okay. On a serious note, now that we've completed the live drawing, this is the part where we're gonna just go and we're gonna dig a little deeper in terms of like how you guys can contact them. We're gonna talk a little bit about the future. We know what's going on right now with Stan and Joe in terms of like what they're doing with the street team. And we talked about the evolving roster. What I would like to do is this is the future. I was totally like just impressed with what the future, what Joe and Stan are going to be doing in the future. And the first thing that they talked to me about, and I think Stan already alluded to it, was that there's this thing called the Stalker Journals. And the Stalker Journals, you actually, I just talked about it. I said something. It is the Stalker Journals. So Joe and Stan, you want to talk about what exactly is the Stalker Journals?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and start that. But like I said, the Stalker Journals is going to be the prequel to the sequel. Is what we call it. Basically, it's the prequel to the Almighty Street Team. It's going to consist of Stalker early engagement with these characters that you see in the Almighty Street Team. Basically, it's a recruit mission. Basically, where he figures out each one of these characters' strength, and basically he decides to add them to the roster to help out with the ongoing threat in the Almighty Street Team comic book. We came up with an idea that the Almighty Street Team is a team that's always been around. It's a team that's been in existence, almost like the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, so to speak. So there was an Almighty Street Team before this street team, and like Black Azan is a elder member from the previous street team. So Stalker is basically the new guy taking over his team, and Black Azan is the elder from a previous street team. And like I think we all came up with the idea that each one of these characters, like Stalker's mentor is named Dave the Baptist. Dave the Baptist was a part of the street team. Dodger's mentor Reaction was a part of the street team previous. So it's like it's still a connecting thread. So the Stalker Journal is going to look at the recruitment and the process of how did he get them on the team? What did he do? How did he interact with them the first time? And how did he, draw them in and put them on the team? So it's going to be like a one-shot mission, showing him working side by side with the characters and then recruiting them. So it's going to be a book, filled with information about each character, about the villains in the book. It's going to talk about Stalker's equipment. It's just going to be like a field manual. It's going to be a field manual where you can just open it up and you can learn about each character. Like if Stalker was taking a journal and writing down each information on every character, and he's telling you about each character, about their personalities, the day-to-day activities, and basically he's just running down his journal. And basically it's like you got his journal now you just open it up and you can just, okay, this is Tiger, this is why he recruited him, here's the story. This is Blackbird, this is why, here's the story. So and it basically just goes in depth about technology, his cars, his dog, all that stuff is going to be included in that. And and of course we're working on the motion comic. We discussed that as well. That's something that we're working on, basically a glimpse into what the world of Stalker Journal would be like if he engages each character. As he engages each character, you'll see each world, and basically each world has their own, setting and mood and all that stuff like that. So you get the story changes along with each character he encounters. So the world changes, everything changes. So and I'm looking to do it at a collection of
I told him that, Chris.
What do you say?
No, go ahead, Stan. I'm sorry. I was just telling Chris. Yeah.
Oh, just a collection of various. I'm looking at it as a collection of various artists bringing different styles to each one of these stories. So not only is this book recruitment for the characters, and recruitment for other artists too, because I'm going to be working with the other artists and trying to recruit up and coming artists to come along and showcase their talent on these stories, because it's going to be about, you know, maybe 7 stories that I'm gonna need artists on too. So that's back to from the beginning where we're talking about street level, you know, keeping it on the street level, bringing up talent from the street level, and you know, bringing them in on this. So yeah, so we're working towards a motion comic, and eventually working toward animation. So that's we're moving towards that direction. So I saw somebody say something need to be a movie or animation. So yeah, we already have a quote unquote movie in the making with R.L. Scott with the Almighty Street Team. So now we're turning our direction and our view towards animation. So Stalker Journal is my goal is to animate it. So I want to make an animated series of it, but first I got to get this on paper first. So yeah, so me and Joe been working with this right here. As you can see, this is a sample of the Stalker Journal motion comic, where this is Dodger and Stalker's encounter, basically. Just a preview of what we're working on. So basically it's going to be just something like this. So this is Dodger's story, then you're going to have a story with
hot damn.
So basically it's going to be just a crazy mix of movie, motion picture, story, action packed from beginning to end, basically just getting everybody in tune for each character, and then hopefully the Stalker Journal in successfulness would branch off to each one of these characters having their own individual you know, stories and animation and stuff like that. So that's what I'm trying to do with this one here. And like you said, we're hopefully a little bit more time. We'll get this out. We're looking about 2022. You know, we just basically gotta get past the street team, and then we'll finish up on this. But Joe can add some more to it as well, because he had his own idea as well.
All right, Joe, you tell us
before we go on, I have to make sure that everybody reads this from Chris Turner, because he talked about it, and we talked about it earlier, and Chris Turner agreed that he loses a tiny piece of his soul every time he inks one of your works for Stan.
I told Chris, listen now, I told him earlier, man. I said behind the scenes we look at some of Stan's work and go, okay. And you just nonchalantly handed to Chris. Can you ink that, please, sir? And make that glow.
Goes,
Thank you. You know.
Yeah. But that's what I say. Just make it easy on Chris, and just don't ink it and pop colors on it. I think it would really also really make it even pop even more. Just have those clean pencils just directly on the color.
Yeah, man. But when you look at it completely with everybody's contribution, the inks, be it from Chris or Sean and the colors and all that, when you see it all together, it's something very special when you see that. So yeah. But even that being said, you know what Chris said, just a tiny bit of his spirit is left on those pages when it happens. But no. Go ahead, Rick. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so and that's just encouraging Stanley to make it even more detailed. You guys, because that's your soul, Chris.
I want all of it. I want all of your soul, Chris. All right, Joe. I know you got a lot to say here. Go ahead, Joe. You say something.
Me behind the scenes, me and Stan go back and forth as to how to execute it. Because we have a thing where, like, you know, it's kind of like Image. One of the greatest blueprints of Image, they leave each creator to do their thing. So so we'll talk about it, and you know, I have an idea for it too. I want to do Stalker Journals as a motion comic, soundtrack, voice casting, and the whole thing, and you know, just kind of push this thing out there. Because like when Stan first said it, he was like, well, I'm just gonna do a quick little a commercial for it, and I was like, man, and I thought it was gonna be a couple pages here and there. I'm like, okay, that's cool. But then when he started putting this thing together, because this is just a couple sample pages, this is a lot more behind, a lot more than this. I was like, dude, this is much more than that, man. This is something big. So
you basically finished it.
Yeah. So we was like, dude, we can do something special with this. And so when we're finished, when it's always just about done. Once it's done, we're gonna get it all colored, and then me and Stan gonna discuss how we're gonna move. Because I want to see, imagine some voices behind that, and you hear the sound effects of this scene right here, and then the dialogue between Dodger and Stalker and that whole deal. So just having some voice behind it. So, but yeah, so me and Stan to get it, we'll get it together, and
Well,
can I be the voice actor for Dodger? I really think I can. I really think I have that Dodger kind of growling voice, that threatening voice.
You know what?
I thought that the moment you came on.
No.
I see that you pinged me in DMs with it.
No, I saw the DM. The DM actually said you'd be perfect for the voice of Bear. I think that would be awesome. You would be perfect for the voice of Bear. Yeah.
No.
Oh, whoops. Oh, what happened? What happened to Jewel? Jewel left. Oh no, guys.
Gerald. There he is.
What is up with that? What is up with that? Rick is. It's becoming a habit with this guy. I want to take all away of his admin privileges because he just kicks me off whenever I joke back. But on a serious note, I got a power outage out here in the VA. So anyway, but I want to say on a serious note, I'm showing all these panels here, and I want our audience to be very clear. These guys. What is it? Imagine Gerald's voice.
No.
At least I said that I would not be Dodger. So I know what my place is.
I don't think Dodger talks that much or laughs.
No. Yeah, he would probably. Yeah, I would not be Dodger. But on a serious note, I want to go over these things because this is something I want to showcase about the personalities of our guests here today because this is a team. Aside from the almighty Street Team and aside from the Street Team Studios, because they have a talented studio, they have lots of contributors. But the relationship between these two creators, between Stan and Joe, I want to take a moment to talk about that because this is something that I witnessed. I've been seeing their work. I got to know them better during the pre-show, and this is what I want to say about these guys. These guys level each other up. They push each other to excel. We joke around. You heard them joking around about when they talk about an idea. Stan decides, okay, I have an idea. And he talks to Joe and says, Joe, oh yeah, the motion comic sounds really cool. And, when I heard it too, it was like, okay, he's going to take panels from the existing comic and maybe sort of animate them a little bit and do that as a little teaser. No, Stan does not stop there. Stan decides, I'm going to do a few pages, right? And those few pages, Joe's saying, okay, yeah, you can do a few more pages. Stan comes back and he does 20 pages. It's it's a feature-length comic. And not only does he do the comic, he thinks in his mind how this is going to be a motion comic. So he decides, I'm going to make it cinematic. So my panels aren't going to be portrait. They're going to be widescreen. And if you look at this panel here, I wanted to show this because this was sent to me later in the evening. And this is a perfect demonstration of how this could translate. This could easily be a storyboard for a movie. And this lends itself well to a motion comic. And then Stan threw down another gauntlet. And, Joe says, oh my gosh, I gotta come up with a story to go along with this. And he comes up with a story. And then poor Chris is in the background going, no one talks to me. Why doesn't anybody talk to me?
Chris is Chris in the background stop, guys.
Yeah, stop, my soul is gone. My soul is gone. And so this is static right now. But I can look at it right now and I see where they're going to go with it. And, this is where Joe decides. He took the gauntlet that was thrown down. He said, you know what, Stan? I'm gonna find some voice talent. I have a network. I can hear a soundtrack playing in the background. I can hear special effects. And before you know it, this little motion comic advertisement that was supposed to be a little side project to help promote the Stalker journals. No, it's a whole nother project. And this is what I want to say about this crew here, this team right here. This is the epitome. This is what is an example of what hustling is in the indie comics community. These guys are bringing their A game, everything, and then they're feeding off each other's strengths, and they're pushing each other to excel. And that's what I hope everybody here is watching, what they've seen. This is a talented crew. And we're going to feature more of the Street Team Studios, and you're going to see some of the same reaction. But these guys, they're like the dynamic duo. They're the I don't know, Team Supreme. I don't know what other words you can use to describe
Flattery
them.
will get you everything, Jarrell. We'll just get it all. Just come on now.
I'm gonna heap the praise on you guys because I saw this, and you guys are just super.
You can also feel it. You can also feel it just while we've been doing it here.
Y'all see Chris in the comments. Don't believe that, man. Don't believe it.
What did Chris say?
I'm just going to my desk awaiting my next set of marching orders and bread. Marching orders and bread.
He gets more than bread. We give him a little milk too. Right, I know, man. That's too long, man. We gotta,
Hopefully you give him water as well.
No, he gets some milk, Rick. He gets some bread and milk. That's a good solid basis.
The boy needs his calcium.
Jesus,
I got. I got this vision
all
of
the secrets.
Like he's like you've chained him in in the basement of Joe's house. He's like Golem. He's like, it's like, yes, precious. This is so precious,
Gerald, you gotta do what you gotta do sometime, man. You gotta get this thing to operate, man. We really,
Hey, if the guy keeps running away, you need to chain him down.
But
that's how I've been with most of my girlfriends.
Go Misery, break his legs, man. Go Misery.
You guys are talking. It's like Misery. You're talking about Stephen King's Misery.
We are on the street level now.
Exactly.
Just straight chugging it down.
We're keeping it straight. And I wanted to talk a little bit. I wanted to say also about what these guys are doing. Aside from being these talented creators, we're getting back to the street, motif. The street motif. Oh man, I like that. They were, when Stan was talking about, we talked about the motion comic, and now they were talking about the Stalker journals. And the Stalker journals is kind of like the Batman files. It's like he's analyzed like who these potential street team members are. And what I love about what they're doing, it's like overlapping. Everything comes back in a circle. It's very Zen-like. They talk about the street team. They, if you didn't hear it, I'm just going to reiterate it. It's what their vision was. It's kind of like an anthology. Each character is going to tell their background story, and it's going to talk about like why they were going to be recruited by Stalker to be on the Almighty Street Team. But what I want to really hype on is the fact that Stanley and Joe were saying we want other artists, we want other indie creators, to do their spin, their interpretation, of course, with art direction, by the crew, the characters, the creators of these characters. But this is them showing the love back to the community, back to these they want to help. We talked about it's like a rising tide elevates all boats. They are basically, they're going to go find indie creators that haven't made a name for themselves, that are talent that's just waiting to be unleashed on the world, and then they're going to give them an opportunity to do what they're doing with their characters and do their take on it. So that is so awesome. I just ate that up. I said this is what independent creators should do, because they're sharing the love, they're bringing other talent in, and letting people get. It's like, why settle for scraps at breadcrumbs at the bottom of the table? It's like, you have a seat at the Almighty Street Team table. You are there. You can be a part of this creative process. And that's what I just, when I heard that, I was like, these guys are just, I don't even know what the word is to describe it. Real, sincere, genuine, just everything about what your story is just really compelling. That's why it's so good to have you on the show. So, nothing but love. So I want to show, so since we're here, we're talking about, let me call up some web pages here, because I want to show how you can, aside from these links that you see here at the bottom, which is where you can get in contact, and you can like and follow. And of course, there's that big cartel. I'm going to share. Let's look at this, and let's share Chrome tab. Okay, so here we have the Almighty Street Team page, and if you look, hold on one moment. So this is where you can find about, you can look at all these different issues. You can get a little synopsis of what they're about. They have an issue 0, and there's 1, 2, and 3 is in production. And we talked about the future. There's still 2 more issues in the story arc that are going to be, that I think Stan said he's working on right now. hoping to have those out by the end of the year. And then, of course, we got the motion comic that he's multitasking that he's doing. And he has the Stalker Journals, which I think is going to debut in 2022. So these guys, they're constantly creating. If you're not creating, you're dead. These guys are definitely alive. They're doing stuff. So go check out this page. This is where you can read about the books. Go to the Big Cartel page where you can actually buy them. I encourage you all to do that. Support independent creators. Support these creators because they're dropping fire, and you want to be a part of it because there's going to be some big things you will hear about these guys. They're not waiting on Netflix. They're going to be, they're going to go and do their movie.
Here goes again with the Netflix.
I was just going to say, I'm not saying that they're going to be on Netflix. They're going to build their own thing, and they're not waiting for Netflix to produce them. They're producing themselves. That's what's different about these guys.
We build it ourselves. When you guys have Mason on, he'll tell you about the construction of the video game. There is a movie in production though, our own movie. It's if you guys are familiar, there's an app called Tubi. It's a free streaming app with movies and everything. R.L. Scott just produced Lazarus. It's the first shot in what's going to be a universe of characters, and the Almighty Street Team is coming through that channel. So, and it's a great crew. Is we have that independent spirit. You're gonna see something special, man. We're gonna put something on your mind. So just be on the lookout for that. But in the meantime, check out that flick right now, Lazarus on Tubi.
Right.
So I just want to say that real quick.
Definitely do your shout. In fact, we're going to give you a chance to do your shout outs just in a moment, but I wanted to let people know because it was so funny when our guests were like saying, hey, this would be perfect if it was an animation. Hey, this would be perfect if it was a video game. Hey, this would be perfect if it was a motion comic. And you know what? It is.
It already is.
It already
is, guys.
Check it out. Here it is. There's a video game here.
Way ahead of you guys.
They are 2 steps, 10 steps. I don't know how many steps ahead. They are thinking future. They're thinking way ahead of it. So
Sarah wants you to go. Oh, he meant you go, guys.
Hey, thank you, Sarah. Sarah's been hanging out the whole show.
Oh, she's always here. She's always
here.
One of the good ones.
Yeah, she's representing Egypt. So that whole Egypt art appreciation contingent, that's Sarah. She's here on the shows for that. So,
Boss Joe giving his special thanks for being on the show. You
appreciate it, Joe. Thank you.
Been amazing.
Thank you all, man.
Yeah, check out those links in the scrolling bar after this show. But I wanted to prove to you guys here they've got the video game, so you can. I'm not actually going to click on it because I want you guys to go there. I want you guys to. It's going to be a little bit of that tease. I'm going to tease you guys. I want you to go check it out, and of course, check out the Instagram pages for both Joe and Stanley, so you can check it out. But yeah, there's big things happening. Going to be coming out toward the end of the year, and then of course. In the beginning of 2022, we're going to see the Stalker Journals, and it's my goal that I'm going to feature all the rest of your Street Team studios individually, and then I'm going to have you guys on the show together. It's going to be similar to the MCU. I'm going to show you're all going to have your little feature appearances as your individual crew, and then you're going to come together. It's going to be the assemble. It's going to be the Street Team assemble.
We all crazy, man. It's gonna be a wild show, man.
It's not gonna be Street Team assemble. It's gonna Street Team come get it.
You know what I mean?
It needs to work there.
Talk to him, Rick. Talk to him.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah, I'm just gonna say that's what you got to look forward to. So anyway, so let me stop sharing the screen. So this is the part of the show where Rick takes pride in knowing that this is where Gerald gets sad because he makes me sad. Rick makes me cry all the time, and I get sad because our guests have to say goodbye. And this show has been so fun. We just really had a good time promoting you guys and showing the love and attention and detail that goes into all of your pieces and getting a glimpse of what the future is going to bring. So this is before I do the Oscar speech. It's the segment of the show we call the Oscar speech, which is where you guys give your final thoughts. Rick, did you have something that you wanted to say before I give the mic to them?
Well, speaking of promoting, I need to jump in here and do my own promotion for a little bit because no, I was told to do it. And this Friday, 11 p.m. here on Comics Cast, both on Facebook and in this Comics Cast on YouTube. My new show, Comics Cast Mentor Blog, will be up. I've been talking about this for the last few shows, but Friday, 11 p.m. I don't know what that is in the other countries, but I'll make sure you guys know. The first episode will be up, and it will be with Sarah Semper.
Woo!
And it will be great, and it will be with me. And okay, sorry.
That's what's up, yo. That's what's up.
That's what
Shout out to Sarah.
I'm excited for it.
I am excited for it too. It's going to be. I was going to actually say that we were going to share that, toward the tail end of the show, but Rick beat me to it. I just really.
You said promote. You said promoting. I said, hey, this is a good spot for me to promote.
It is, and I want everybody to just be on the lookout for it. We are going to talk about it this Friday, of course, but just want you to. This is a lot of time has been spent on this. This has been something that Rick's been putting together for several, for the past few months, trying to get this thing organized, and it's going to be a great show. This is one of the new shows that we're going to debut on Comics Cast. Let It Out, and we have actually another one that's kind of top secret that we're going to probably launch in if not late March, early April. So stay tuned for that.
It's so secret. I don't even know.
You don't know? I thought you did.
No, I'm being kept out as always.
So he's being coy. He's just
see what I'm working with, Joe.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He knows. He's just being that way. That's Rick. He's whatever.
It's all good.
But anyway, this is I'm gonna put let's move me down here to the lower corner and let's.
Well, I'm used to that, Roy. So it's nothing new to.
Oh, here, this is the pity tears that are crying for Rick before I start crying about these guys, because I'm gonna miss them. So here we go. This is the Oscar speech. This is where you can say your thank yous, it's your final thoughts. It's been a treat for me. So the mic is now officially in your hands, Joe. You just give us your Oscar speech.
Yo, just want to shout out everybody who tuned in, those who will tune in later. I appreciate everybody. I appreciate Rick and you, Gerald, having us on the show. Stan for going in and doing what he does, best, killing it with that lead. Shout out to you. Say it's an Oscar speech, so we got to say who we're wearing.
You do it.
Blaxicon apparel. One of our label mates, one of our studio mates, James Mason's his t-shirt line or his clothing line, Blaxicon apparel. You can BLAXICON apparel. You can Google it; it'll come right up. So shout out to Mace for that. And just I think everybody who supported us, man, for everything from the books to everything, the movies, we're grateful for it all, man. I appreciate it. So thank you. And for me, you want to look me up, Punks of Rage, everything, PUNXOFRAGE. You can Google it and everything of me comes up.
Awesome. So Stanley, the mic is in your hands now. Give us your Oscar speech.
Yeah, I want to say to all the artists out there and creators who's thinking that things cannot make it. Hey, listen, I'm just gonna let you guys know it can happen. Just like for us, it just takes a little time and patience. May not happen now, may not happen today, but if you keep working, keep fighting, you'll make it to the top. Don't worry about it. Like you said, create what you love, do what you do. Don't worry about the next man. I tell everybody, act like you got $1 million budget and create what you want. You don't have to have $1 million budget to create what you want. And don't worry about what the next man do. Do what you do. So I do want to thank all the people, Rick and Gerald, for inviting us on and giving us a little shine. We appreciate that in the future. Bringing on everyone else that's going to come in. We do appreciate any type of support that may come of this, and anybody who stopped by and drew along with us. I do want to thank my man Joe, of course. We long time coming, still running with me and stuff like that. I want to thank my man Sean, my man James, my man Karan, Chris. He's in the dungeon somewhere, Ethan.
I gotta freshen up that milk pretty soon.
Yeah. Hey, make sure you get that water, okay?
Right.
Some bread.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, a little piece of bread.
Little toast action. Little toast action.
Shout out. There you go. I want to shout out R.L. Scott for the movie Lazarus. Everyone, please check that out as well.
On Tubi, the Tubi app.
On Tubi app. That's one of the salvos coming out the cannon. Hopefully, Almighty Street Team will be next. And like I said, we appreciate the time and effort and everybody like that. And like I said, hopefully we'll be doing it again with all of us in the future and more to come. Like I said, I'll be back to bring some more stuff, some more heat.
Yeah.
Heck of an Oscar speech. I'll be back. That is awesome. I'm ready for you guys. I think what is it? Sarah mentioned it here. Gerald, you said you will bring them back. I will bring them back. Don't make us wait too long. I'm going to be showcasing a couple of their other. We'll be promoting a couple of their other members from the Street Team Studios in the next. I think at the end of this month, we have that, and then we have one later on in the summer. So
who's next?
So next is gonna. Yeah, we got some. Mace is not till late summer. We got Chris Turner. Because I think you're going to let him out of the dungeon. You're going to let him out of the dungeon.
You promised us we could borrow him for like a few minutes.
Yeah, I'm gonna
just a little bit.
I'm gonna let Chris. Yeah.
Is he done?
Was that?
The snow? Is he done?
Yo, I don't know, man. It's actually warm today, so maybe we don't have any snow duty today. But we'll let him out for a while. We'll let him out.
Yeah, I'm gonna let him get some sunlight and some exposure. We're gonna get him some exposure here on Comics Cast. Let it out. So he's gonna be coming in at the end of the month, and then of course we're gonna have Mr. James Mason, who's the ever the entrepreneur. He's the guy behind those jerseys that you see that our guests are wearing. So you can be a part of the street team. You can be Stalker. You can be Blackbird. You can be Dodger. I'm gonna try and be Tiger, which is so funny. When James is on the show, I'm going to be sporting my Tiger jersey. So I can't wait till that gets in because I almost feel like I'm an honorary member of the street team because you guys were so.
Not, don't
I earned it. I got second place.
You got second.
And what place did you get?
I wasn't even in it. I didn't even know it existed. I didn't even know it existed at that time because you kept this for yourself.
I did. That's what it is. Anyway, I want to show these off too. These are issues that you can get. These are this is the Street Team books. This is issue number 2. This one is issue. I can't see issue number 1. It's kind of hard. I didn't look at the screen. Here we have
0.
0. Yep, and I'm getting glare. And this features the cover art of Sean Aline. He's the guy that he's the creator we had from last summer. Yeah, so very, very cool. Yeah, and here we go. I wanted to show this.
Are those still mint conditioned, Gerald?
I actually broke them open. I had to open them because I couldn't leave them in the plastic because they're just so good. Let me just go ahead and show you. This is Dial
Chris.
Excess. This is Chris. This is before he lost his soul. Because every bit of his soul gets taken away. I wanted to show these things because these I was so happy that this was part of when I did the contest and they shared this with me. And I tell you, UPS, they did their best to ruin it for me. That envelope, I should have taken a picture of it. The envelope looked like it was just dragged across the floor. It had mud. It had grit all over it. But you know what? Minty, it's so minty, and I had to open it up. I had to open it up because I'm going to tell you this issue number 2, the latest issue. I'm going to have to tell you guys it's a tease. I'm going to tease you guys with our audience about this. This book, it's normally like read. Normal comic books are like this. You read it this way. It's like these guys.
No, that's just you. That's just you. Because it's really like that.
What do you mean?
Look at Joe. Joe is like, no, it's not.
No, he's right. It's widescreen. It's widescreen.
It's widescreen. Yes, and that's what's so cool. I think that was a great homage because I think in the 90s, you heard there was the Image crew that we all affectionately know. I think Eric Larson. I think he did a whole issue of Spider-Man, his run in when he was at Marvel, and he did. And I think Liefeld did that too. And I think McFarlane, I think they all kind of experimented and did whole issues where they were kind of horizontal instead of vertical. And I when I looked at this, I go, these guys, I see what you did there. So cool. Stan, I think that was just a really clever way, to kind of do that. And I just
what do
thought
you mean?
Really
what
cool.
do you mean clever? They just forgot to turn on the printer correctly, and then they went with it.
Oh, don't listen to Rick. Don't let him steal your thunder. You guys,
it's like well. We don't have the money to reprint this, guys. We gotta do it.
Okay,
yeah, we came with that fire, Rick. That's what we did. We came with that fire. We wanted to know.
Okay, if that was an accident, that was the happiest accident ever because it looked great. So go to Big Cartel, go buy those issues, support indie creators, support these guys because they are bringing the fire with Street Team Studios. They are just a phenomenal. You heard their story. I don't even need to repeat it. If you missed the earlier part of the show. It's going to be on demand. Check it out on Indie Comics Cast on YouTube. Check it out. It's going to be archived in our plethora of video section, on Facebook. And so I encourage you to do it because their success story, I want to share it because that's inspirational for all of us. So we're going to have to end the show. So this is where I get kind of weepy. But here we go. As we end the show, I like to share one last thing. And let me pull that up right now. And here we go. All right. So this is our charity partner. And our charity partner is Golden Fight. Golden Fight is an organization that I like to say is big enough and small enough at the same time. While I'm talking, Rick, can you pull up the URL for Golden Fight? It's really simple. It's goldenfight.org. And you can check that out. And so when I say that they are small enough, what I mean by them being small enough is that they are not a nationwide charity organization. They're very focused in their approach. That's the Mid-Atlantic area. It's in my neck of the woods. It's Virginia, Maryland, DC, and the surrounding area. So they don't have a huge coverage. They're very focused. And what I say by being big enough is that's what their mission is. Their mission is to have big hearts for families that have children that are dealing with difficult diseases like cancer. So when families are focusing on the healing of their child, they will inevitably have to deal with financial difficulties, and that's where Golden Fight comes in. So they have big hearts, and also they can say that 97 to 98% of the money that they raise goes directly to the families that have sick children. So that 2%, that 3% that they have to keep is basically just for it's a nominal amount, and it's just for administrative stuff. In fact, a lot of the leadership, they do this voluntarily because they have family, personal family, or friends of family that have children that are touched by cancer, and they wanted to create a charity that reaches out and helps them. There's no financial ties to Golden Fight. We do this because we love what they're about. Joe Tolliver, who's my co-founder here at Comics Cast, he knows the owners, and this is something that we'd like to do. And we're trying to plan as something where we can kind of do some sort of charity event where we can help raise money for them. That's going to happen later on. We just need to work out some of the logistics about it. But if there is an organization that you would like to check out, just see what it's about. And if it's in your means and you'd like to contribute to a worthy organization, that Golden Fight is that organization. So
that's what's up.
Yeah. So let me stop that. And this is where we say goodbye. So I wanted to encourage everybody to check out the links. Oh, the links need to be called up one more time. Rick, you want to do that? You want to. So he's a professional. He's going to get it. It's going to come up right there. So check them out.
Ordering me around like this. God damn it.
So now's the time for go check them out because the show is officially over. So check them out, show them some love, follow, keep them on your radar because they got some big things that are coming out throughout this year, at the end of the year, and of course going into 20. In fact, they're going to have something coming out all the time because they're always creating. So and follow them, and follow Comics Cast. Check out Rick. He's going to be doing his show this Friday. Is that right, Rick?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. All right, Rick is done. So here we go. So we're gonna say, hey, check us out next Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our next show. Look forward to having you guys back again because you will be. Joe and Stanley, thank you so much.
Thank you all, man.
Comics Cast, let it out. Signing out, and Rick, take it.